Mhm.
So he said that, and this is actually a quote from Borthwick. He said, in light of the fact that so much of Owen's training and match preparation time this week has been significantly affected and interrupted by the disciplinary process, I have not selected him in the matchday 23. Owen will travel to Ireland with our full support. Owen understands the situation, but is of course disappointed, as am I, that he's missing out such a special game they would otherwise have played in. So I think it sounds like he basically probably wasn't lined to play, and I reckon after the fact that World Rugby came out and said they're going to get involved, then they probably decided not to select him, to be honest. It does mean that George Ford starts at 10, who I think is their best 10.
Well, you
So,
know what, you know my thoughts on that.
yeah,
So
so,
I'm not. But let's keep that secret to ourselves, Stevie.
yeah, no, as I said, I do think, I think when George Ford plays and he plays well,
Absolutely.
yeah.
He's a he. When the last 7 years, whenever I've seen him play or start, England
Mm.
he drive. He's a little bit smarter than
Yeah.
Mr.
Look, my unpopular
Farrell.
opinion is I do think that if it's not George Ford, I would pick um, Farrell over Marcus Smith every day because I think Marcus Smith's a great talent, but I think he's not there
Um,
yet.
yeah,
You know,
I was a Marcus Smith fanboy for 100% a year ago, and I was Marcus Smith should play, but where England are and what they
mm,
do, you can see he's frantic and uncomfortable,
mm,
and it was always probably going to be that way. England they've never had a fly off like this. So what do they do with him? And then you
yeah.
still got Owen and Farrell around. So I agree. I don't think the 10-12 works with them. I would going into this World Cup. I have changed my tune and said I would pick Farrell over Smith, but I would always pick Ford over Farrell every day
Mm.
of the week.
Yeah, and I think even that I think Farrell at 12 works with Ford at times, but it just didn't work with
Mm-hmm.
Smith at all. I think the
Yeah,
Ford Farrell
yeah.
axis can work out quite. I mean, it got them to a semi final, so we know it. I mean, a final, so we know it does work. But I think the
And
Smith
and and
Farrell axis
and
just didn't really
Ford,
work.
and even when I have two examples, and I said, it's like, show me a clip of a match where Owen Farrell actually took a game by the horns and drove it England over the line. Like, it was actually did something. I know it's not might not be eye catching, but I'm still waiting to see this amazingness of this guy who, like, I don't see it. I don't see him taking games by the horn and driving England forward. And then George Ford, who was under with Leicester. I mean, he drove Leicester to that final. He got injured in that final. I just don't know what that poor guy has to do to be justified as their number 10. But it's also personal opinion, yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, 100%. The one thing,
we're
I
not.
mean, I know this year he struggled, but the one thing I've always said with Owen Farrell is he's one of the best goal kickers in the world when he's on song. He's so that's always been quite a big thing. But I mean, this year I think during the Six Nations, at one stage he was operating at less than 50%. So maybe even that itself has actually gone. So but interesting times for England and for Owen Farrell. So we have got no idea when the hearing will actually take place. That has not been confirmed. So it will not be before this weekend. So and this is for me the interesting thing. When I did the video this afternoon, people are now saying that they reckon that you're looking at a mid to high range sanction here, given the fact that you can't go to tackle school, so there's no mitigation with regards to moving the sanction down. So if you get a mid range sanction or high range sanction, I start looking at 6 weeks. That will only kick in next week. So he's actually going to miss a game this weekend that he would have served part of his ban. And if he gets 6 weeks, it means that not only would he miss the entire group stage in the World Cup, he'd also miss the quarterfinal. So, I mean, that base takes him out of the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yeah.
surely,
Well,
surely you can't go through the entire World Cup, get to semi-final, and then be like, right, Owen, off you go.
I I mean, I don't look on the other side of the draw. I mean, England might be lucky to find themselves in a World Cup semi-final, but I don't know. Maybe it's a blessing if he just gets off. This is my opinion. I just think England will just do better without him. So I actually, I'm in two minds here. I'm in two minds. Whether he gets the ban he deserves, which he should, out of principle, but on a rugby basis, I would prefer him out of that England team because I think George Ford would fire with Artie Lawrence and Marchant. You'll get that backline going because that backline's got so much, and I don't understand. That team should never be performing the way they are,
Yeah.
and it needs something to spark them. And I think George Ford can get them going. That's again, first opinion, guys. Everyone out there, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, it was a decent sizing pick this weekend. Our official preview will be out tomorrow. Courtney Laws is back to captain. I think that he is incredibly
Yeah,
important to their
I love
chances.
Courtney Law's unsung hero.
Yeah, I think he's one of, if not one of the probably the most important player for me going into the World Cup. I think if he plays well, he's one of those few players
I
in the
think
world. It doesn't matter
is he
what team he plays, he gets over the advantage line. He'll always front up, and he's
is
so consistent.
is he he's not captain. Who's the captain of
He is
England? I know I
captain.
should know.
No,
Yeah, well, yeah.
so Owen Farrell was captain for the World Cup, but this weekend it is Courtney Laws.
I believe if Courtney Laws is on his game, fired up, captain there at number 6, that England team could start getting on a little roll.
Yeah. And then George Ford is actually co-vice captain with Ellis Genge. So, but again, a very experienced English side this weekend. So Ben Young is back to the starting lineup with the most experienced English player anyway. But yeah, so we'll talk about more about England in my preview tomorrow and stuff. Let's move on to speaking of teams and stuff for the weekend. The Springboks are back, and it's a pretty strong side that we've named against Wales, and we're gonna have a look at it now. And we'll also have a look at the Wales side, which has had a late change. But Chris, when you had a look at this side, obviously the big news is Siya Kolisi is back in the mix. A couple of other returns, the likes of Jaden Hendrickson and an Oxen Chair. Still with a 6-2 split, for example. Caden Moody being involved. What was your initial reaction looking at the squad?
Yeah, well, obviously Kolisi's name there. Obviously, well, he's going to be playing, and I'm holding my toes and fingers and thumbs because I'm not. Yeah, I know it's a miracle, but we'll see. And I think expected. I mean, starting with probably our first choice front row. That's our premium front row, right? And I know you guys have been calling for Jaden Hendrickson. Could probably be the starting. Could have been if he had a run at it. Could have been the starting. Could be the starting scrum half. So good to see him back, and obviously Grant Williams back as well, which is nice. And in the back line, I mean, Varney's got to play all the way through now with Williams to playing that supporting role. So I think that's close. Yeah,
How do we get stronger? How do we get stronger? I think that's probably where we're getting at. Obviously, Etzebeth comes in at 4 for Jean Klein, but
what do you mean? How do we get stronger?
As a 23, if we play the World Cup final tomorrow, who comes in? How does this team change? Do you think?
Etzebeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably going to start, right? I think that's our backline. I think that's our first choice backline.
Do you? So that for me is obviously. I mean, because I actually did yesterday. The title of my show is "Has Caden Moody made himself a starter?"
I was getting there.
Yeah.
I was about to get to the point where I was going to say to Moody would be my starting.
Is it? So are you not fully convinced?
Yeah, I think Moody's an amazing player. I think he's a mercurial talent. I think he could be one of our greatest players ever by the end of his career if he stays.
Well, I mean, look, Jake White said he reckons he could be a test centurion, and I think that's how people.
No, I don't. Barring possibly a young Quirson, young Franz Steyn, I don't think we've ever seen a talent with maybe Colby's got, but there's a different type of. Moody's got something else going there.
But he just looked for me. He just looks so comfortable at this level.
Yeah,
it looks like he's been playing. It looks like he's played 50 tests.
Correct. Yeah, I feels like he's the closest that we've got to like maybe Cullen was and what Will Jordan is. I'm not saying he's at that level, but like for us to have a player of that caliber and that skill, I think he gets quite close to that.
Now, and we'll talk a little about it positionally, but I mean, do we think that wing is probably our most stock position at the moment? When you think that Caden Moody's almost making himself a starter here. We're not talking about Makazole Mapimpi, who's got an unreal try scoring record, and we're not even talking about Curtly Orense, who's at the moment scored more than a try per match.
Well, the thing is, we've had Jesse Creel going at 13 with Arm for the last couple of years, right? So Arm's out, and you feel you're so obliged and obligated to slot Creel at 13. But I think Moody at 13 could even be a sensation.
So that's what the comments are asking. Let's talk about that. I'd be interested to see what will happen when he goes back to the Bulls, because I think that the Bulls will play him at 13, because if you look at that Bulls squad, they've added Henry Immelman, who's at 15. They've added Willie LaRue, who's at 15. They've brought in Jakob van der Walt. They brought in another fly half. So they've got Chris Smith, Jakob van der Walt, and Johan Quirson. They often play Quirson at 15 to be able to make space for Chris Smith and now probably Jakob van der Walt. And so if Quirson's at 15, you've also got Henry Immelman as well as Willie LaRue at options at 15. Curtly Orense can play at 15. You've got Stravino Yarkis, for example, on the option on the wing. So, but for me, if you look at their centers, not as stacked. So I think we're going to see Caden Moody at outside center for the Bulls. Do you think that's where he'll settle?
I think he would. I think he's a smart player. Yeah, I think he's got all the skills, all the makeup to be a great 13. Yeah, I think if he has a solid inside center. Saying, yeah. I really I'm hoping that he settles at 13. I think he'll do great. But you could put him anywhere at the back three, and he's gonna make an impact on the game, right?
Yeah, I just hope that we kind of don't do almost that France Day thing where we sort of moved him around so much that at one stage didn't quite know where he was playing. Which some people were worrying about Damien Willems, which I think is a valid concern. But I think Willems has shown that he's so talented that his versatility is his biggest talent almost.
But for Moody, it's like also we need Provincial, but every time he plays, he stands out. He's one of those players that are standing out. He's doing something good, productive. It's he looks like completely the part. He looks ready to go. He looks like he's taking a duck towards international rugby. So why would you leave him out? I do. I also get Kurt Lawrence is a game breaker as well. I'm going to admit. I mean, I love him at pumps. I do, but I think Orange has to be in the 23 as well somehow.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Because now, for example, you just don't leave out Cheslin Colby. We're talking about one of the best players in the world.
If Moody wasn't a factor, because Moody kind of wasn't, he's been there, we blooded him in. But now it's almost like we can't leave those three out.
And all of a sudden, we're almost like moving Cheslin Colby to see if he can play at 11 to make space for Moody.
And the way we play with Billy, we can't leave Billy out of this structure and coaching structure, so we can't really shift him either. So, but look, good problem to have. Look, either way, whoever goes, I'll be happy. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh no, So, and if someone breaks down, we've got a really good backup.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the nice thing is that whilst there are some big question marks over like 13, where we've only got Jesse Krill, who's an out and out 13. And fly half where everybody's saying, well, if Marty goes down, all of a sudden you've got Damien. I think outside back is one position where we're not worried. I mean, we could get two genuine injuries and we could still be starting a Kirkley Arendse and a Kane Moody, or a Mapimpi, Kirkley Arendse, Willie Leroux, or a Kirkley Arendse, Kane Moody, Damien Willems, and you sit there going, yeah, I'd actually be quite comfortable with any of the sort of the 5-6 outside backs we've got. I would be pretty comfortable with any of them starting. But let's talk a little bit about Marty Liebach, because as much as everybody keeps continuing with this whole agenda that Andre Pollard is going to come back and play Scotland and win us the World Cup, the Boks keeps saying that he's not part of the plan. That is not the plan, and we've got to back Marty Liebach. I mean, how much pressure do you think he's going to be on in the next couple of games, or do you think all of a sudden there's almost a certain amount of I'm actually not playing necessarily for my place here. I'm actually now this is me playing for the World Cup. I now know I actually will probably be playing. I need to actually now settle in. And do you think that sort of alleviates a bit of the pressure and allows him to maybe sort of play his more natural game, or do you think it adds more pressure on the fact that it's like, well, hell, all of a sudden I'm the number one choice. If I play badly, the entire team's got a problem.
Yeah, it's very interesting because we've basically taken out how we've played Springboks. We talk about how they've played to win World Cups, which is that solid Pollard like number 10 controlled game, almost 10-man rugby. We're taking that out the equation. You can see when the Boks play with Liebach on or Pollard on, it's a different game. And obviously part of me has been feeling, well, we're going in with the same medicine. We know the medicine, we know the drill. We're going in with the same plan of attack. And that was very much a Faf Pollard access, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, even Faf could not even be there. So it's a different book team, and a book team that I actually enjoy watching. I enjoy watching them play, and they're going to have to go to the World Cup and play. So I'm at loss. I'm not sure how this book team actually goes now, because also we haven't seen a consistent book side for the last 5-6 tests as well. So it's going to be very interesting. And with regards to Marnie, well, no one gave him a hope in hell 3 years ago when he came to the Stormers, and he led the Stormers to a win and 2 finals, and he looked pretty good in big games. Yes, he does miss the odd kick, don't get me wrong, but the way he plays, he could put Willemse and Arendse away for a try in the last 10 minutes and make up those points in that way. It looks like that's how we're going to have to accumulate our points. It's going to have to be with more going for attacking rugby. So I'm okay with Liebach. I think he might embrace it. I think he did with the Stormers. I think he'll take it by the horns. Again, if he goes down, I'm not so convinced about Willemse at 10 to go through the World Cup. But it's 3 games. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm really, really curious to see how the Boks play, because are we going to play to Liebach's strength or the way he plays and has played, or are we going to coach him into a Pollard style? And it probably might backfire.
Yeah, and for me, I think that the interesting thing is everybody talks about Faf de Klerk as this, very boring box kicking scrum off, but if you're a Lions fan, you'll know that is not how he when he arrived in the scene and when he was playing at the Lions, it's not how he naturally played his game. It's something that was very much sort of coached into him when he was at sort of the box because of the box system and stuff like that. So what'll be interesting, the fact that we've now included Grant Williams, for example, who has that sort of that edge and stuff, it'll be interesting to see how even a Jaden Hendricks as well, how him and Faf de Klerk now play, whether they're going to play quite similarly, whether they're sort of going to take on a bigger role in terms of kicking off 10, kicking off 9, playing off 9, or whether they'll also get a little bit more license to say, no, by all means, let's pick up the ruck speed, let's get the ball going, get clean ball to Monty and let him cook, basically, as people have been saying. So, yeah, and on that Jaden Hendricks thing, I mean, we haven't seen him in a while. As I said, last year, a lot of things were pointing to him all of a sudden, climbing up the ranks. I mean, he started against the All Blacks. Do you think that he's genuinely going to be in the mix coming the World Cup, or do you think that they've taken him as an option, but maybe without the game time might not necessarily be making it that high? Removing the Kobus Reinach agenda here as well.
I just still think the way these guys, coaches have gone through the years, and the guys like Reinach and Kriel have popped up in almost all these squads they can. I still think Reinach is pretty much the second choice scrum half, in my opinion. It will be between Williams and Hendricks, who backs him up should that be the case if Faf went down. And
what's interesting though is that Reinach has never come off the bench. It's like if Faf play, he'll start, for example, and if he's not starting, then often Reinach starts and then somebody else comes off the bench.
So that's why I think they wanted to haven't seen so much more of these two guys before this point in time. So I don't know if it's going to be Faf. Faf is going to certainly be a starter, and then it's going to just be a matter of who's going to back him up between him and Hendricks. They might go for Williams for the more versatility of Williams. But Hendricks, I just wish Hendricks had more game time. Yeah. Maybe he gets it this week and next week, or let's see what they do with him.
And then the big sort of question mark is, I wouldn't say question mark. Siya Kolisi obviously hasn't played since I think about February when he got that injury. When he first got injured, people were doubting his World Cup, and you could see how hard he worked to get back. He has been basically in full training for it looks like about 2 or 3 weeks. He even took part in the warm up at Ellis Park about 3 weeks ago now. Actually, it was, and was running around and running the drills and stuff like that. He comes into the side. He is a player who, in the past, has needed game time to get going. He's not necessarily a player that's always managed to slot back in and be at his best. But in the last 2 to 3 years, probably safe to say he's been playing the best rugby we've ever seen him play. I suppose he's a player, and take away his leadership. I think we all know that we have to have him for his leadership. We all know that the Boxer player are a better team when he's in it from a leadership point of view, and he really does help them get him up. But just from a playing perspective, I mean, he's somebody who I think could have been in the World Player of the Year charts in the last couple of years, and won Bok Player of the Year, I think 2021, and was second to Etzebeth last year. From a playing perspective, though, how important is it that we get him right and he gets right before the World Cup?
Yeah, I don't know how. Obviously important because he means that much to our team and is of value. I mean, no matter what, he needs to be around. I must admit, I've been trying this whole week to understand exactly how they got his knee to where it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've read it or because I don't. I'm thinking of other guys who are rushed in with knee injuries. They never come back nearly as strong.
I think the biggest thing
I'm
is
concerned.
There's a little bit of confusion exactly what actually happened. It would be really nice to have had a bit of an update on exactly what he actually had done in the end.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm very worried. I don't know if he makes it through the first half. It's just a gut feeling. I am worried he's going to break down again. I'm going to be very honest. I'm really worried about it.
I think that's the worry. It's he's coming back. I don't think anyone coming back from a knee injury, for example, if you're coming back from a shoulder injury or you're coming back from something like that, you kind of sitting there going, it's a bit not easier, but you kind of sit there saying, those are often like Oxen Chair, for example, it was a pectoral injury because he tore it in the gym. He didn't warm up properly. He said he was rushing, so that's like a bit of a freak injury. It's not something that wasn't like a rugby collision, but a knee is such a volatile thing.
The thing is, in the form he was on, if he comes straight back into that form, amazing, brilliant. the word miracle's been used, right?
Yeah.
It'll be for me. It'll be a miracle.
Yeah,
So
well, we know
let's
it.
see.
We're a land of miracles, so let's
Okay.
hopefully have another one. But yeah, I think he's probably the one that everyone's gonna watch out the most for. I said, I think it's all gonna be sitting there saying, is he fit? Is he ready? And I think also the coaching staff need to be, and they will. I think if he's completely gassed after 40 minutes or even 35 minutes, take him off. If
But this training, has he been doing full contact? Do we know has he been doing full contact?
yeah, I think he's been training for I think since the New Zealand game, I think he's basically been in full training. So with full contact and the works and stuff. So hopefully, in theory, he's had 3 or 4
I
weeks
think
of
the
full.
boys have been attacking his knees. Have we let him go lightly? Like
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, because you don't want you
it
don't
was
let go.
it was my. If I was a player, I don't know if I'll be charging him.
No, I was about to say you don't
you
want to be that guy that goes like, oh well, unfortunately, Siak has done his knee again because Jean Clay decided to like dive bomb into his knee, and it was like, well, thanks, Jean. Back to Ireland you go, dude.
Yeah, that's the worry.
So I suppose we'll
Well,
see
let's
how
see.
it.
Let's see. Let's see.
Look, the nice thing we know that as a player, he's not gonna, he will go full tilt this weekend. So, if we in terms of getting any information on his knee, we'll know pretty quickly where it's at.
It's, I don't know, is it the knee? I know it's certainly the ankle, but when some of these things go and then you rush it in, that breaks something else. The offset another part of the body. So the other worry is actually him injuring himself somewhere else.
I think with knees, a lot of the time, the often is worried is the other knee. Is that
that's what I'm saying.
You're so
That's
worried
what I'm
about
saying.
this knee that you can't sometimes do the other knee. That's often happened to some people. But no, touch wood, he's going to get through the game fine. And we're going to be talking about Captain Fantastic being back. Now, before we go to the betting segment and talk a little bit about the other game, we'll talk a little bit about the Welsh side, which has changed, if you have not seen. And I'm a bit frustrated about the change because I quite like the 2 players who are playing. So that is the team for this weekend. The late changes, look, Kai Evans come into the starting lineup on debut at 15, and Sam Costello has come in at 10 because Liam Williams and Dan Bigger have both been ruled out with, precautionary been taken out of the team with injuries. So if we look at the side, Chris, very inexperienced props from an international perspective. I think both have 2 caps to their name.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, not the most experienced team. I mean, you've got the likes of Alex Cuthbert coming back, who's going to be a handful for Ches and Colby. So I'll look at this team and think scrum wise we should be decimated. There should be no excuse. They're both good props, but you're now playing against the Bok front row. They're our best front row. That should be an avenue we should target. The thing that probably scares me the most looking at this team is that loose trio.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah, if you look at this team and you watch Welsh rugby, that's a very decent loose trio, for sure. Like I said, the rest of the team but feels a bit light, but absolutely that's where it's strong for them there.
And I think what's going to be interesting is that, and it'll be interesting now, given the fact that Dan Bigger's not playing and Liam Williams is not playing, is if you look at the height of this backline, it's a tall backline. You look at Johnny Williams, and he's a tall player. Mason Gray is a tall player. Rio Dyer is the shortest person in the backline. He stands about 186. Alex Cuthbert's a big wing. So we have no doubt that high ball and that up and under is going to definitely be a big factor this weekend.
Yeah, I must say, I mean, I actually enjoy the Welsh national side. I do like Afghan, but I don't do Welsh rugby a bit of service, or do them a bit of a disservice because I don't watch a lot of Ospreys and Cardiff games. So these names, I know these names, but I don't watch a lot of them provincially. So, but interesting to see how they go.
I think the big thing is I think a lot of casual fans as well. Not calling you a casual fan, but a lot of people that.
Well, I'm a casual Welsh provincial.
Yeah,
fan,
but I think also, I mean, you've got Warren Gatton who's still really trying to find information on his players. I mean, you look at the side, for example, and if you don't watch domestic rugby, I'm trying to bring out the press release here. I mean, Johnny Williams. I mean, your centre pairing have got 8 caps between them. Mason Grady is his 4th game. Johnny Williams is his 6th game. Rio Dyer has played less than 10 games. Sam Costello has played 3 caps. There's only one person in the backline who's played more than 20 caps, and that's Alex Cuthbert. Kieran Hardy's the only other player in the backline who's played more than 10 caps. So it's a very young, very experienced backline. Well, it's a very experienced team actually.
Yeah, I mean the Welsh team, like up until recently, they were doing really well. And it's not the names that are in this team. Like, and it'll be interesting to see how they go in the Welsh jersey. But they're often up their game for us, and even in Wales, like even if it's a team that's we don't recognize these guys as a Welsh formation, I still think they're going to give us one hell of a game.
They're always a bit of a bogey team for us, not in terms of
Mm.
they beat us particularly often, but they're never an easy side for us to beat. They always seem to have our
Yeah,
number and make competitive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But then there are times when I look at games like now, when you look at the matchups, you're thinking to yourself, this has to be a comfortable book win. But I'm not going to stick my neck out and say that
Yeah.
because it's never we hardly ever throw. We haven't had a big win again. Barring it was 16 points in Newlands in the last game.
Mm.
I mean that's one of the biggest wins we've had over them for a very long time. Even though we do have the rub of the green, but it's always within a score or within 7 points. So
Yeah, and at
I don't see it
team,
any difference.
it's a whole different kettle of fish when you're playing over there
Yeah,
in the Millennium.
yeah, and I'll be honest, these barring the French and the Scots giving us some decent games. I don't look into these friendlies. They are definitely down 7% in intensity, and
Yeah.
what the coaches definitely go and ask the players to do something a little bit different. You can see that it's not the same type of test matches, and players are protecting themselves for sure. And especially some guys are going down. They they will. So it's going to be, yeah, interesting.
Right.
Watch it, of course.
Yeah, no, 100%. And as you everyone know, we will be obviously live for the watch along, so you can come and join us over there. So before we talk a little bit about the games this weekend, because there are a couple of other nice games, let's talk about this. So this is your betting segment brought to you by Boyle Sports. And if you are trying to get into your betting, first of all, you're going to get yourself a Boyle Sports account. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now. And then what we suggest doing is going on X, the X Twitter, now known as X, and following Chris at the Crow Tips. And then Chris, the season record's looking pretty good. And how are we going to better that this weekend?
Yeah, looking very healthy. We had a nice week too. I think it was 2 weeks ago because we missed last week, but we have a 100% record. We had the double coming in. Tasman won and Oz plus 24 cruised home. As we short said on the show, thought Oz were going to give them a close game, and they did. Didn't win it, but probably as expected. And I had the lean of Oz over 9.5 points at half time, Oz points, and they smashed that in 12 minutes. So that was one I was actually thinking of adding as a proper bet. I should have, because I was deep down pretty confident about it, so I should have actually punted it as an official. But anyway, if you did put it towards your bets that you created, then great. Yeah, so the season record, we're 13-9 and a very nice 15.9 units up and a very, very healthy 62% return on investment. As I said, Stevie, I'm really, really happy with that. If we were still floating around 20-25%, that's still pretty decent if you look at people that charge tips around the world. So that's where they would be. So we're doing pretty well, yeah. So we're going to continue it. We've got some units up, so we'll use some this weekend. I'm taking a little bit of a different approach this weekend, Stevie, because points. I like points. As you noticed, I've bet a lot on points, and the points markets haven't been out for these games, which is fine. I do like NPC. I will be betting some NPC games in the future. But for now, we've got the Pro. So the Pro D2 starts tonight. It's the French second division, which is a lovely betting competition. Everyone knows. I think it's a little secret gem. Not secret gem, but I think a lot of punters. We don't punt it publicly, but I think we all know that it's quite a nice tournament to punt on, because obviously bookies aren't as familiar with it, and there's quite solid form lines that come out of that competition. So it starts tonight. So I'm going to start tonight. It's Biarritz vs Colomiers, and I'm going for second half highest scoring. I love the half scoring market. Yeah. I know a lot of guys don't, but I'm going to target it this weekend, because why I say this, because generally Pro D games, the first halves are very tight and low scoring. So I'm not going to buck a trend of the last 2 years, which I like. So I think they're going to go in, have a very, very tight first half. And there'll be a try or two more in the second half, probably. So we'll go for the second half high score in that game tonight, 1.5 units. And we'll do the same for the Wales-South African game. Now, I actually maybe wanted to have changed this, because it looks like our pack should monster the Welsh pack, and that could happen in the first half. Mm-hmm. But I'm going on the trend of Wales-South African games. They often are tighter games, and if in the last 4 out of the last 6 games, the second halves it's normally tight first halves, more points in the second. That's just how our games of them go. As you said, it just seems quite a familiar pattern with South Africa versus Wales. So I'm going to say it. If anyone listens to this, so we're going to stay with the 1.5 units. I might have dropped it because I am a little bit worried that we do monster a few rolling moors in the first half. But we'll keep 1.5 units. We'll keep this trend, and I'm confident. I'm still confident that it will still maybe open up in the second half. So we'll go another 1.5 units to 199 there. So take a little bit of a different approach, just with what's available with the games today. So yeah, if they both come in, we'll have another very, very healthy week, or at least we won't lose. We'll be in the same position next week.
Right, so 3 units up on this weekend, eh? So
yeah, so that's it. We got two plus 2.65 last week, and we're going to go up another 3 this weekend. Let's do it.
all right, cool. So
Let's
then
keep
if
rolling.
everyone's new to that, so your unit is obviously whatever you decide to generally bet. So for example, mine is 10 rand. Times are tough out here, and still once that return of investment sits there for another month or two, Chris, you might even convince me to start upping the units. But yeah, so if you are new, that is the concept of the units. So
well, we have, I suppose we have news for people. We'll grow this in other ways from the next couple of weeks. This is tonight's show, the rugby show, but we'll get more risky maybe.
Yeah, there we go. So on that note, please do keep an eye out on the channel for a cool announcement that will involve Chris and seeing a lot more of his friendly face. And so keep an eye out for that announcement, which will hopefully be very, very soon. But yeah, so that's all on Boyle Sports, by the way. If you're wondering where those markets are from, as I said, Boyle Sports are our official betting partners, so those are where the odds are. And if you have any questions, stuff like that, put them in the comments, and we will endeavor to try and answer them, or else we'll bring them up next week in the fan forum. And right. So, Chris, we've got 50 minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about the other games this weekend. We have got England versus Ireland and France versus Fiji. And I want to sort of obviously focus on England versus Ireland because probably the better of the games. And I think very interesting because Ireland are coming back from about a 2-week, break. They've gone pretty strong as well, pretty much full strength. England also very strong, but England playing. Let's find a way nice way to say it. I'm not quite firing all cylinders just yet. Surely this is a pretty one-way traffic game. It's in Ireland. It's at the Aviva, number 1 team in the world versus an underperforming England side. What chance do England have?
Not a lot, but like I said, and I'm being honest. This is these friendlies. I'm looking at completely different to like the finale, the Grand Slam finale game, But like I said, my mind still boggles, and even under Andy Jones, like England have to be much better than they are, surely. Interesting comments that you said. I do read. I like to read and make my opinion on what people say during the week, and I think you said Borthwick said a big game in Ireland, and Farrell's missing a massive game.
Massive occasion, yes.
So friendly against Ireland is a massive occasion? Okay. It probably is because it is England versus Ireland. So that tells me that I think they got some Six Nations revenge on their mind to England. So I think it's going to be...
Maybe they're at the situation like, listen, guys, we're not going to win a World Cup. But if we can beat Ireland in the Aviva before, then at least that's something, boys.
Well, I'm gonna say that there is that factor. I think I know rugby players. I think England will want to avenge that game. I do think players do have that mentality, and I'm going to say that England are going to be better without Farrell, and I think they're going to give Ireland a good game.
Well,
I think Ireland are going to win. Ireland are going to win, but it's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be an Ireland runaway.
I lied. He didn't say big. He said such a special game that he would.
Special, okay,
special. It's a special game. I'm not sure what's special about it because it's not like anyone's reaching like a big milestone. I mean, Owen Farrell has hit 100 tests a while ago, and it's played England a while ago, so it's not like he.
But England Wales games are special in a way as well, and I've been completely disappointed and flattered to see in those. So what am I going to get? I'm going to get excited for England Ireland, and I'm going to see another like 19-8 Ireland win.
I suppose, for example, next week, Box versus New Zealand at Twickenham, and you will be there. So
yes,
I suppose you tell me. But I wouldn't call it a special game. I mean, it's a cool game. It's the biggest rivalry in rugby, but a World Cup warm-up game in a neutral ground.
No, it's going to be a nice occasion,
There we
but
go.
it's not gonna be. I ain't licking my lips like when I used to go watch the All Blacks play Springboks at Newlands in a Tri Nations game. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not.
and it's not quite like the third, you know, your second, the big, like Ellis Park, for example, like a New Zealand Bok
Yeah,
game at Ellis Park or in Eden Park, you know, like those are
yeah.
the games.
I
Test matches don't get bigger than those type of games.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a nice. I think it's almost sold out. So it's going to be a
Yeah,
very
no,
nice
it is
crowd.
sold out. So I think it'll be.
I think.
I think it's gonna be a great day.
I think it's going to be a great. It's going to be a
Yeah.
great occasion. I think it's going to be. It's going to be a good match. It's not. We're not going to. Well, mind you, come on, when the Springboks pedal, but I don't think anyone leaves anything behind. So maybe we misinterpreted this. Maybe these guys are not going to help themselves and see the old enemy in front of them and go, "Bugger this! I'm going for it. I'm not losing to these oaks."
Yeah, no, and I'll be interested to see the type of teams that get put out. You know, I think some people suggest that Ian Foster is set to potentially rotate. I think other people are saying that they reckon the Panty Rusty has been sort of implying that they're going to try and use that All Black game to kind of announce that, you know, that we're candidates and, like, you know, go and beat them and say, yeah, right, you know, going into the World Cup saying, actually, we're here to play. So I'll be interested to see the type of teams and the attitude that they've got. I mean, obviously, they're not going to be sitting there telling their players, oh, it's actually not a big occasion, but it is 2 weeks before the World Cup, so there is that certain amount of go out and get a big result that you also can't afford to get into because then you're done.
I don't know who decided to have this as a final warm-up fixture. It's. I'm not saying it's a sacred fixture, but it just doesn't feel right, does it? It doesn't.
It kind of feels doesn't feel like
it doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like it does it any justice. But
sorry, Chris, are you trying to imply? I just want to get this right. Are you trying to imply that the Qatar, what's it called? The Qatar Invitational Cup is could be slightly commercialized and not that you know, that not that serious.
Okay, now that's exactly why they found these two teams. Okay, well that makes perfect sense. All aboard the gravy train. Let's go.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, you know, go enjoy your. Hopefully, it's free. Hopefully, you can enjoy it. Hopefully, you're out there having the nice food and getting involved.
Got my tripod.
Oh, there we go. I see. Soon to be there. We go. Soon to be award-winning journalist Chris off to watch the Qatar Cup at Twickenham.
Can't wait. I know. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to being in the experience that you guys think you're going to give me the opportunity to be in. So I can't wait for next Friday. Really can't.
Yeah. So and if you're watching, set your bloody alarms because it's next week Friday. It's 8:30 next week Friday. So don't sit there. You don't go out on the jaw and then all of a sudden you're on the TV like, oh, is that last week's game? And be like, no, you're busy missing the Bok test. So it is on a Friday night, which is a bit of a strange one. I don't think I've ever watched Bok Rugby on a Friday night.
Weekend win last time we played. I think we played Georgia maybe on a Friday night.
Yes, that's actually a very good shot. It was the Friday night before there was a British and Irish Lions game on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's the last only time I can remember that we played on South Africa played on a Friday. Hey.
Yeah, and then Georgia all got COVID and got sent home.
Oh, jeez.
Good times. Little throwback there. And then the last game, France versus Fiji. France are Intermac-less for the World Cup. They still buy less for the next 5 to 6 weeks potentially. If I were to pick if I were to pick like 5 players who I thought you don't want to get injured, those 2 would be within my 5.
Correct. I was having a WhatsApp chat with my mates on Friday, and I said I named Tomac. I think I made the point to Mac, the point of Leon. Sorry, the flank. I didn't say Bile, but I said. What if one of these 3 were going to go down? One of them, they're going to. It's never like I just had this feeling, and I hope I didn't curse him, but
no Intermac for the World Cup. I mean, just how big is that for France?
And huge. I love it. So as you know, I've been punting France to win this World Cup for 2.5 years, 3 years, and Intermac was a big part of that.
Yeah,
I am now concerned because of that the Pont Intermac dynamic. They can break.
And for me, the Intermac comes Ramos and as well. Those 3.
Yes, yeah. Intermac can do stuff. Like I said, like if it gets tense in a Rugby World Cup, because they will get tense, surely, France at some point. And if it is 12-9 with 15 minutes to go, it's in an Intermac ridiculous no-look pass inside his 22 or dummy that breaks away, that puts Ramos or someone under the posts. You know, they go up 15-12 and they close it out, you know. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting now. It's open. It was an open World Cup. It's just got even more open.
Yeah, and interesting how and again, all of a sudden, if we get to see Owen Farrell, for example, and this is where the warm games gets so interesting. And where do you sort of sit with the whole warm game? Because some people are saying, oh, it's ludicrous that we're playing these warm games. They're just waiting for injuries. But I mean, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't
Yeah,
situation because you have to
yeah.
play rugby going into the World Cup.
No. What do I think? I think they have to be played,
Yeah.
and they have to be played. It's weird that it has to be in internationals. It's almost like could you put a club side there, a top club side, and they play them instead? But what does it matter, right? They're still going out there, putting their bodies out there. You can't not be playing rugby 6 weeks from 6 weeks out, right? You gotta be playing.
Yeah, and so they will have a 2-week break. And so, for example, the Boks are going to go over to Corsica for a little training camp and do a bit of sweating
Sounds
and stuff
lovely.
there. But I mean, France versus Fiji. Fiji are a bit of a everybody's very excited about the island teams this year. Your Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, because of the whole eligibility rules and a lot of other players coming in. Yeah, Fiji for me are always a team that have always threatened to be good. And I mean, look, they're currently actually ranked higher than Wales. So they're currently ranked 9th in the world. Wales actually ranked 10th. Do you think this is the year we're going to see a Fiji pitch up and really start to sit at the table maybe?
No, I'll be honest. We might see another little bit improvement from these island teams, but we're going to see them maybe fade at 70 minutes instead of 60 minutes. I just don't believe they have the backbone and the fitness levels and the discipline to go through an 80-minute hard international match. We got the players, but it's still for me the mentality. I know it's harsh. They might compete a little bit longer this time around, but I don't see them causing upsets.
And long term, I mean, I said the eligibility rules have almost created like a bit of an immediate fix. Obviously, long term, they could still sort of use it to advantage, but also things like the Drua and having a domestic side which got a lot of international players playing together. We saw how the Jaguars really sort of helped boost the Argentina for a bit. So do you think long term now, maybe this is probably too soon, but long term, do you think this is going to be the reckoning for some of these nations?
Yes, I hope. Yes, like I said, improvements. I'm looking for improvement. I think we should see improvement. Yes, that's that law to get the players back. I think being the Super Rugby is certainly going to get them on the upward trend. I think I don't know. Maybe we have to get a Six Nations Southern Hemisphere Six Nations. Get them playing Rugby Championship. Get Samoa and Fiji or get them playing us. Get us playing hard test matches every year. Because I don't think I just don't think they play that high end level rugby enough to go to World Cup and go through.
Yeah, and the biggest problem is that whole new World Rugby schedule is literally taking them away from the option, and again, as you said, you can't play against other tier 2 nations and then come up against France and Ireland, the Springboks and All Blacks and expect to ever compete.
But then again, we've let Italy do this for 21 years, and where are they? So
watch my juniors. Those at Italy under 20 have beaten England like 3 times in the last 2 years.
I have to admit, people have said watch out for the youngsters, and I ignored it because I would see too much Zebra and Benetton in my life, and Italy not winning international. But yes, I did. There were eye-catching performances from us that year.
I also think what's going to happen what's going to be really good for them is the fact they've got so many more players now playing overseas. The fact that Paolo Garbisi is playing, in France, and it's not like he's there to bench and anything. He's there to actually play. So I think that I think for me will be the big thing for I mean Benetton have been getting more competitive. Zebra is still a bit of a joke, and they need to sort that out. But I think the more that if you've got somebody like Lorenzo Canoni, who I think is going to be proper, if he's playing in a top 14 or in a premiership and stuff like that, I think that'll go a long way to them actually becoming genuinely competitive.
Steve, I say this. I do say tongue in cheek, and obviously I do mean what I say about it, because I would love stronger international teams. I would love it. I would love to at least 12 teams that on any day you think, okay, they got a chance. So I want Italy to be strong. I want Fiji to be strong. I want them to be, But at the moment we got a pool of 8. We only can pull together 6. Maybe 3 meaningful hardcore tests a weekend.
Yeah.
That are gonna But anyway, I mean, it's been like that from the beginning. But it'll be nice.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we could actually be talking to Pete Rabbit, and we could see Georgia beating some teams in the World Cup. We'll know in 3 weeks' time, won't we?
They do come. The pool games are. I love the pool games of the World Cup because they come. They bring it. Those underdogs, the lower teams bring it, and they do give the top tiers a bloody good game.
And there's always iconic moments,
great
aren't
to
there?
watch.
Like in Grenier rounding a banner. That's spoken about today. It doesn't matter that they crashed out, but there's always those sort of iconic tier 2 nation moments where it's like that big hit, that try, that when Chile score their first Rugby World Cup try ever, that'll be those really cool moments as well.
Well, actually, talk about what's the bigger ones that you can remember? I think Tonga beat France in 2011, right? That was a biggie. Maybe Argentina beating France in the opener.
And
Argentina, can't say Argentina was an underdog, but it was a big result.
And was it Scotland that knocked out England? Well, they knocked out someone when I think it was who was the Scotland? One of my I think Greg Laidlaw. I'm sure it was Scotland
in 2015.
I think it was 2015. Yeah. Well, obviously the Japan beating us, and we didn't go there.
Yeah, Japan. Okay, that was out of my brain. Thanks for reminding me that. Scott. That was a controversial. That was a controversial Craig Jabir game against Australia, was it? But was that the quarterfinal or the semi? Who did Australia beat? Because we lost to New Zealand. Who did Australia beat in the semi? I can't remember. Wales? No, we knocked out Wales.
In 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knocked out Wales and then lost to New Zealand.
Yes.
Australia were in the finals. I think I want to say they beat England. No. Or did they beat Argentina?
It probably was Argentina.
You know what? I've got the beauty of the internet, so we can speculate, or we can actually find out. Chat.
Because you remember that game, that Australia-Scotland game, where Greg Japan never refed another game in his life.
Yeah.
He's got right.
Yeah, I just need to back yourself. It was Argentina who beat Ireland in Cardiff, hammered them 43-20 to get to the semi-final, and then lost to Australia, and then Australia because we beat Argentina in the third and fourth playoff.
Well, that's another scar to send Irish way, hey? Jeez.
Imagine being pumped by Argentina, like basically at home. I mean, it's Cardiff, but
that Irish record of those just every quarterfinal, every single World Cup is an amazing record. Why do we want to give it up, eh?
No, listen, the problem is that we all laugh, but we all know that it's going to come. That they will win the World Cup eventually, and then we're in big trouble. Because the problem is maybe it's one of those things where once the monkey's off the back, they're going to go and win a couple.
Yeah, well, but exactly. I mean, them in France have been nations on the rise, and arguably New Zealand a little bit lower, but still really good. Us kind of like feels like we've just been like there, and Australia on a decline. So that's going to be so interesting. That quarterfinal, whoever on that side of the draw, those two quarterfinals are going to be redonk.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. But people, that's as much time as we've got for tonight. Time flies when you're talking shit. So Chris, thank you very much for jumping on. We will be checking back in a week's time to see how those players went. I've locked them in while you're chatting them. I actually was on the Boyle Sports and I was getting my bets in for the weekend. Got started getting myself some spending money for France, so I can go buy all the jerseys. I'm trying to decide which jersey to buy. Like I want to buy like one or two of the different ones. Like I like the Italian jersey. I think like the Chilean jersey is pretty cool, and like I want to buy like a Romania jersey might be quite cool, but it's also yellow. And like when am I going to wear yellow? So I'm going to try.
I also actually need to do some jersey investing, so I'll do it.
Maybe we should actually on across the team just also start looking for different ones. It'd be boring if like all four of us go and get the same jersey. So maybe you start. Let's do that. Right, there we go. People, if you have jumped in and you've been part of it, please do smash like on the video. Please do smash like. Please subscribe to the channel as well. We are past 36,000 subscribers, so this weekend we're going to try and move on to 37, maybe even 38, if we can get a nice watch along in. We want to try and get to 40,000 before the World Cup. That is the plan, people. So if you haven't already, don't be an enemy of progress and go and do that. Go and sign up for Boyle Sports, who have been bringing you the show. Link in the chat, link in the description, and you can go follow Chris on X. That's horrendously deteriorating platform, which was once great, and now
I'll make a few posts now. It's not a tweet; it's a post.
It's a post. Oh yeah, because that's a repost, not a retweet. I mean, I thought that Wales and England have fallen from grace quickly, but that's That's been a whole different thing over there. Anyway, we're not going to talk about the ex-Twitter RIP. But yeah, people, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, if you are just tuning in now, this will be available as a podcast across all your favorite audio platforms. So you can go and stream it on the way to work tomorrow. And apart from that, we will see you guys tomorrow, as well as over the weekend for some live streams. You're going to be seeing myself, you're going to be seeing Mark, you're going to be seeing Wes, all on the various watch-alongs over the weekend. So it should be a lot of fun. And the countdown is officially on. Tomorrow marks 3 weeks and counting. 21 days until the World Cup does start. So time to start getting excited. People, keep well, keep safe. Chris, thank you very much. And everybody, we'll see you next
Stevie.
time.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport for today's World Rankings preview ahead of the weekend of Summer Nations Series. And there can be very big movement across the weekend. We could see the number one side in the world, Ireland, drop as low as 4th. We could see New Zealand become the new number one side in the world. We can see South Africa actually go up to 2nd in the world. So there's a lot of different things that can happen across the board. And so that should add a little bit of extra spice to the weekend fixtures. And it's a very nice game, South Africa versus Wales and Cardiff. You've got Wales taking on... you got England taking on Ireland. Over in Ireland, France versus Fiji, for example, should be a great game. So it should be some really cool games across the board. Italy taking on Romania. You've got Georgia taking on the USA as well. And so, yeah, there can be quite a lot of movement in this sort of the top section of the world rankings. Before I go into exactly what can happen and what needs to happen for that to happen, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, let's go through what the permutation highlights are. So we'll start with the top and move down to the bottom. So, defeat for Ireland against England would see them surrender the number one spot to New Zealand. So New Zealand would become number one in the world this weekend if Ireland do lose to England. Unfortunately, Ireland cannot increase their cushion at the top because of the 10.29 point difference between the teams and before the home advantage is factored in. So therefore, even a win for Ireland does not improve their ranking points. They will remain the same, but they will not surrender that top spot. So if they win, they will stay at number one. If they lose, they will move down to 2nd. However, if the right results go in the right ways, it is possible for Ireland to drop as many as 3 places down to 4th if they lose by more than 15 points, and South Africa win by the same margin against Wales, and France beat Fiji. So in terms of South Africa, they will replace France in 3rd if they beat Wales by any margin and regardless of the result. So that's big news for Springbok. So if we win tomorrow, we will move up to at least 3rd place. We will overtake France because France cannot improve in their rating due to the 10.52 difference between the sides before the home factor is waiting in up against Fiji. But if we were to beat France by more than 15, beat Wales by more than 15 points and Ireland were to lose, we could actually go ahead of Ireland as well, which means we can actually go up as high as 2nd place. Ireland can move down to 3rd, and France can, if France beat Fiji, they can go down to 4th, with New Zealand going up to number 1, South Africa number 2. So that could be quite interesting. All of a sudden, we could be moving into next weekend with New Zealand, South Africa, France, Ireland, and all of a sudden, like it's almost the top 4 has been reversed from sort of last year. Unfortunately, France cannot improve their rating at all, as I said, because of where Fiji are. So and they've got the home ground advantage. England must beat Ireland by more than 15 points if they'll move up to 5th and to replace Scotland, which is quite unlikely. Obviously, they get a big factor because the Ireland are number 1. Wales can jump as many as 3 places to 7th if they beat South Africa by more than 15 points, and Fiji fail to beat France. Fiji have never been ranked higher than 8th, but 6th place is possible this weekend if they beat France by more than 15 points, and if Ireland match in the margin, and Ireland match the margin in a victory over England. So Fiji can go up to as high as 6th place. 4th place, smaller margin of victory. 4th place is the lowest that France can fall to in defeat. And with a fraction of over 10 points between themselves and USA, Georgia cannot improve their rating this weekend against Georgia. However, shock defeats against the Eagles could lead to a fall as many as 3 places down to 14th if Italy are victorious at home against Romania. USA will move above Uruguay in victory, and also Portugal if they win by more than 15 points, a gain of 2 places, which will take them up to 16th. Italy cannot improve in their 13th place in their own right, but a win combined with a defeat for Georgia would see them climb to 12th. And Romania head over to Italy. The win has potential to move them up the rankings, but only if it's combined with a defeat for USA away to Georgia. in terms of very, very down the park and some fun facts, really. Colombia will move ahead of Ukraine into 36th place, so they beat Paraguay in the opening round of the Sudamerica Rugby Four Naciones. Paraguay could fall as many as 7 places in defeat, whilst the win for Paraguay will be accompanied by a 3-place rise, whatever the margin, while Colombia will fall 3 or 4 places depending on the margin. So there we go. If you want to know more what's happening down the rail at the bottom rankings, it's what's happening over there in Sudamerica. Uruguay's match is also an RT 15 game against Uruguay, but that will not count towards rankings because it is not a test match. In terms of the match officials, we've got Jaco Paper, who will be officiating Georgia's match against the USA. Andrew Brace will be taking charge of Wales versus South Africa. Paul Williams from New Zealand will be refereeing Ireland versus England, whilst Luke Pearce will take charge of Italy versus Romania. And the France versus Fiji game will be officiated by Nika Amashakili from Georgia. So those are the match officials for the weekend. So yeah, pretty cool to see what the Springboks can do, and I think it'll be a bit of a Southern Hemisphere charge, I suppose, if the right results go in the right way. But at the very least, it looks like a win for South Africa would mean that it would be Ireland number 1, New Zealand number 2, South Africa number 3, and France number 4. And obviously, South Africa versus New Zealand next weekend could become very, very interesting because, that could be a fight for top spot if Ireland were to lose this weekend. So lots to play for with regards to the ratings. If you do take much notice of them, let me know what you think some of the results are going to be this weekend and where you think we will be, us being South Africa, will be on come Monday, and down in the comments below. Apart from that, smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We will be live for the South African game, the Ireland-England game, as well as France versus Fiji over the weekend. So come and join us on the watch-alongs, and we'll see you guys all there. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve, and I'll chat to you soon. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. But today's how to watch guide for the Summer Nations series, which really gets underway in all earnest this weekend. And the good news is there are a range of broadcasts which will be showing all the action throughout the rest of the month. Lots and lots of cool sport on. In terms of the Summer Nations, this weekend we have got Scotland versus France, Wales versus England, Ireland versus Italy. Next weekend, England versus Wales. The Boks play against Wales, and it'll be on... so that'll be part of the Summer Nation series, as well as New Zealand games as well. So there's a whole bunch of games that's going to be part of the Summer Nation series. It's basically the Autumn Nation series, which is what the end of year tour has become, but now in August as a Rugby World Cup warm-up schedule. And the big question is, how can I watch all the action? Right, well, the good news is that, first of all, there are free-to-air broadcasters, and you can watch the entire week or month's coverage live on Amazon Prime with a free trial. However, these are only available for those in the UK or in Ireland. So if you're outside those territories, you can still use the same method I'm about to show you, but you're going to have to use a VPN. Now, we recommend using either ExpressVPN or else Bitdefender over there, which are one of our partners. They've got a very good functional VPN, which works very nicely. And basically what you do, I'm going to show you how to use ExpressVPN. So first things first, you're going to go down into the description below. You're going to download your VPN. I'm going to show you what ExpressVPN looks like. And once you install, it's going to look something like that. You're going to go to these 3 little dots over here. That's going to bring up a bunch of locations. And you're going to go and select the UK. Once that is available, you're then going to go to I'm going to recommend using Amazon Prime because every single game is on there and you can get a free 30-day trial. So you're then going to go to Amazon Prime, amazon.co.uk, and then press the Prime address there. And because you're connected through the VPN, it basically geolocates your device to make it seem as if you're in the UK. As a result, you can get access to the Prime thing. And there it is, these are all the Autumn Nations games and stuff like that. If I go to Scotland versus France, you'll see they're included with Prime. It goes live tomorrow. The nice thing about Prime is it's got brilliant panels. It's got really good coverage. It's got different languages, for example. And if you scroll over here, you can see there's the Wales versus South Africa game, as well as in Welsh language. We keep going over here. There's just so many various games across the rest of the month, which is going to be really, really cool. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Certain games will be on RTE, which is a free-to-air broadcaster. So we'll be doing specific videos on those games, showing you how to watch. But apart from that, get yourself an Amazon Prime free trial. Get yourself a VPN so you can access it and watch all the action live throughout the rest of the month. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Apart from that, smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and I will see you guys next time.
Quite nicely. However, the Fijians not as much, which is a real shame. There's a big push in World Rugby to start covering what we would call the minnow sides, or sort of not the major nations. So not very familiar with Fiji, but they have just come off the win of a Pacific Nations Cup. So they are in form, having beaten Samoa, having beaten Japan as well. They are looking quite good. That win against Japan, 35-12 as well, so by a decent margin. So the Fijians looking quite good. Here, if I can get the feed up, because we should be starting any moment now. So in the chat, guys, pop for me there. What do we think? Do we think the Fijians can get a win? Or do we think that the French are going to continue the form that they've been in and see another win here? Right. If you guys are watching, I'm watching on Amazon Prime. So using a VPN to place myself in the UK, and watching with an Amazon Prime subscription there for the Summer Nation series. Hi guys, can hear some voices in my head here. Right, having a look. Just joined the live here. We've got the anthems going on. Excellent. If I can get this up. Fijians just finished up the anthem, guys. Some of you might be asking, where am I? I've actually just flown back to the Delta. So coming to you from the Okavango Delta in Botswana. So I do appreciate if you are a bit forgiving if there are some connectivity issues. We are asking the Delta's internet to do a lot here at the moment. It's streaming my face and voice. I've got the rugby going here. I've got other apps open. So really, really appreciate it, guys. If it's a bit laggy or whatnot, please, your forgiveness is appreciated. Right, so we've got the Fijians up. Excellent. French moment getting underway. in the chat there, guys. Let me know where you are joining from. So, as I said, I'm in the Okavango Delta, Botswana. It is supposedly winter here, although when we touched down, it was 33 degrees Celsius. So, a very warm winter. I'm in shirts and a short at the moment and still struggling to keep warm. Could be another reason that things are on the fritz a bit. However, yeah, let me know where you are from. So, in the chat there, let me know, as well as your prediction for the score. Let me know where you're joining from. Always interesting to see where we get our watch-along viewers from. 2 weeks ago, I believe, when I did the Wales-England game, had a host of Welsh fans in from all over the world. So I wonder, are we getting any French fans in? Are we getting any Fijian fans in? Let us know in those comments below. Right, we've got the French national anthem going, and after this, we are getting underway. Cannot wait. Let's have a look here. What else do I want to go through quickly before we start? We've spoken about both teams being in form. Lots of changes to the French side due to injury, obviously, and also just resting some players. We've got no Intermac out for the World Cup. So France having a look at who can they put at 10. Who can they put at 10 to sort of take on that role and responsibility? And just before we get underway, guys, we are brought to you by Bitdefender as well as Boyle Sports. So those are our two sponsors for a lot of our streams and our videos, guys. Please, yeah, as I said, I'm using a VPN at the moment. I'm actually using Bitdefender. They've got much more than just a VPN, but currently using their VPN function to put me in the UK to allow me to watch the Summer Nation series video through Amazon Prime. If you're not sure how to do that, check out the channel. We've got tons of videos showing us, or showing you rather, how you can watch this game along. If not, just, yeah, keep me on in the background. I'll be commentating us through the game. The anthems are finished. The sides are taking their positions. But before we kick off, we're going to have the Fijians lay down their challenge to the French. Handshake there between 7 from Fiji and 3 from France. Some respect. And the Fijians set up for their challenge. Here we go. We see the Fijians laying down their challenge to the French. And that's it. Short, sweet, and simple. And with that done, the starting 15s from both sides take their respective positions. And here we go. So France starting forwards. We've got, quite a different pack. I think lots of players getting some rest there, probably needed, but nevertheless still always threatening. The France backline as well looking quite different. As I mentioned, no Intermac at 10. So we've got Hastoy filling in at 10 there for today. Well, not filling in, he's going to be started in there, see what he can do. Some new names there. If you don't keep up with sort of your French club rugby. And then having a look at the Fijians, guys. Now, I know the internet is known for one thing, and that is being a really forgiving place where people are given lots of chances and the benefit of the doubt. So I'm going to ask for, for everyone's forgiveness. I don't follow much Super Rugby at the moment. It's something I'm wanting to get more into, so I haven't been very familiar with a lot of these Fijian players. As I said, not watched many of it. I've spent, no jokes, literally the last hour going through the names, doing my best to get the pronunciation right. So if I make a mistake and I don't say it correctly, I ask for your forgiveness up front. I'm going to do my best. We're going to do our best. We want to be making sure that we are being fair and bringing you the best coverage here on Forever Sports. But I am putting the warning out there that my pronunciation of some of these names is going to be questionable at best. But no, it's it's not for a lack of trying. I really have given it a good go. Okay, so just about ready to kick off here. Seems like we're moving the massive banner off the field. I was like, what is going on there? So giant blue snake ribbon comes off the field. We've got Nika Amashukeli as our referee. Some like crazy information that one of the commentators gave. I believe he was the ref in the England-Wales game, and one of the commentators through Amazon Prime was like, oh, he was, I think in a game he was stabbed or something, which is absolutely nuts. I think it was in Romania or Georgia. It was reffing a game there and he was stabbed. So hopefully none of that in tonight's game. Here we go. We're lining up. So the French are playing from right to left on your screen. We have France kicking off. We are playing in France. So the nation getting ready to host rugby's biggest competition, the Rugby World Cup, which starts very, very soon. The ref is checking with both sides. We've got a 5-second countdown. Here we go. 3, 2, and we are off. So France kick deep back left. Fijians collect, and a hard run up the left-hand side, dealt with easily by the French defence. The Fijians look to poise a box kick, settle things down, and there it goes. Hoisted over and into touch. So Fiji, they're dealing quite well with the early pressure, just kicking out into touch and settling things down. Really curious to see the Fijian set play. We know what they can do in the open field and broken play, so let's see how they do. We've got 2 balls in the field, and the ref is allowing game to go on. Okay, so France win the lineup quite simply at the halfway. Quick ball for the French. Out it goes to the backs, and it makes its way all the way to the left-hand side of the field. The French number 11 stepping nicely inside, but dealt with by the Fijian defenders. French 9 quick to the left, stabbed through by French 15. Chased down the wing, able to be collected by the 50, and he takes it out of bounds. Okay, so lots of pressure from the French winger there on the Fijian. I think it was the fullback, and it was taken out of bounds out the back, but the ref seems to be thinking something else. So really good stab through, and as you know what they say, a kick is only as good as its chase. That was an excellent chase, making sure the pressure was on. So really nice little stab through by Jaminet, and I believe it was number 13. So Arthur Vincent from France, chasing up and putting a lot of pressure on the Fijians. So tough ask now. Looks like 5-meter scrum to the French. Yep, we go 5-meter scrum to the French, right on the left-hand side touchline. Not much space to go on the blind side. Know that Aldred would have been hoping for a bit more space, potentially to little pick an 8-9 maybe down the left-hand side, but not to be today. So we are less than 2 minutes in and we get our first scrum, not through a knock-on, but rather taken out the back by the Fijian player. Scrum set immediately down the left-hand side, and we will go for a reset. Once again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure hitting that like button, that subscribe button. Pop your location in the chat. Where are you joining me from tonight? It is 9 o'clock in the Okavango Delta here. Love to know where you guys are from. I'm pulling up the chat at the moment, and I'll be able to see where you guys are coming in from. So reset scrum. So for the French side, in that front row, we've got Wadi, Malvaka, Antonio. And for our Fiji side, Maui, Ikanivere, and Donge. So the second scrum is reset, looks much more stable. French look to feed, in it goes. Very stable scrum by both sides, not much movement. And it eventually goes down, but the ref allowing play to continue. Aldred looks like he picked up the back. Luku, the French number 9, is in, so the forwards are going to have a pick and go, a bit of a bash around. And it looks like they've knocked it on. So yes, they have. The Fijians have dealt with that pressure excellently. Great scrum by the Fijians, and then really good defense. So they look to bash it up a bit themselves. And eventually exits. So Fijian number 9, Lomani, doing excellent work there. Coordinating, takes it, looks to box kick deep, doesn't find touch. Instead, the arms of the French 15. Right, he decides to run straight into a Fijian, which, you know, word of advice, not the smartest thing to do. Aldred takes it up, but chopped both ways. The Fijian defense so far dealing with the French attack quite well. But I think the key for the Fijians is to maintain this. I think that's often what happens. They start really well, and then potentially either through fitness, discipline, or whatever it is, it's just not quite there. And as I say that, we're being marched back down the field for a French penalty. Almost smack bang in the middle of the post, just outside the 5 meters. So I obviously haven't got the audio on mine this side, but I can't see what that's 4. So let me know in the chat. I'll be using you guys to tell me what's going on. And the French have indicated that they are indeed going for the points. So I do think that what we are seeing from a lot of teams now are more test rugby play. You know, potentially we might have seen the French go for the corner in that position, go for the try. But here it looks a bit more traditional test rugby that we're going to go and take the points. So France converts 3-0, 6 minutes in. And the Fijians are looking quite good. Fijians are looking really good. Just need to keep up this consistency, and I think they will do just fine. Right, restart deep from left to right, deep to the right-hand corner. Aldridge doing good work to make some yards out of the 22 on the left-hand side. Luku looks to box. Massive buck kick down into the Fijian half. Caught nicely. Fed to the Fijian number 8. Big run up the centre of the field, but tackled effectively by the French. And a French penalty turnover. So looks like, who was it there? Dante got his hands all over that ball and was not letting go. Okay, so the French have gone to the polls again. So where are they? Yeah, so the Fijian number 8 did a good run, but Dante was the second man in, or the first tackler, got his hands all over the ball. And there was no opportunity for Mata, the Fijian number 8, to get it back. No one helping him cleaning there, so his teammates are going to have to get going there. Right, having a look at the chat there. Let's see if I can do this. Excellent. Right, France converts, second penalty. So 7 minutes in, 6-0 for France. France slowly, just keeping that scoreboard ticking. I have the chat up. Finally, here we go. Okay, so not Senti saying, imagine a Fiji upset. Well, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. So let's hope the Fijians believe. So excellent collect by Aldred there off the restart, but met by 2 massive Fijians. Very difficult to tell who's a backline player and who are forwards. All these oaks are absolutely huge and pace and athletic. Okay, so fed back to the French and a deep kick, clearance kick, an excellent clearance kick by Jaminet. Done excellent work. And it takes us, I think, just to halfway. If not, actually into the Fijian half. That was a massive kick. Let's have a look. Your sound is off, beardy boy. Oh, no, it's not. Eugene Dry, my apologies. Being in the Delta is ultra impressive. Extremely envious. Yes, it is really lovely. But let me know if the audio is okay, guys. I've got Alfredo Jacom Parantes. Apologies if I butchered that. Hi there. Hello. Let me know. What are score predictions? Get your score predictions in the chats. Right, the ball is hoisted high into the air by the French, and it is bubbles a bit and ultimately comes down with the French again. So, well, counter ruck by the Fijians, however, off their feet, and a French penalty within the Fijian half. So, again, the Fijians having the right idea, but struggling a little bit with execution there. And another French penalty. This one not quite in the center, but on the 10-meter mark in the Fijian half. I think contemplating, should we go for it? And the nod is given, absolutely. So why not? France, I think. So Jaminet there is going for poles again. I think what the French are looking to do here is sort of attempt to take an early lead, give themselves that space to work with, and then what we should see is potentially things starting to open up. So once they have, I don't know, 9 points, 12 points, if they get another penalty after this and convert it, they might then start to look to get some running rugby going. Hopefully we get some running rugby going. We then see the shot clock there. It will also be really interesting to hear you guys' thoughts on the shot clock. I've seen I've seen some kickers pay absolutely no attention to it. They just get on with their business and do what they do. I've seen other kickers. I know Farrell did it quite a bit. I know Bigger did it quite a bit. I saw Lebok do it quite a bit. Sort of take their time. Right. And my goodness, he cannot miss today. Jamine has got his 3rd penalty. So in the space of 9 minutes. So just about every 3 minutes, the French have got a penalty in a kickable distance. They've taken it and they've converted it. So if you're Fiji, you've got to really be on your discipline and think, actually, you know what, guys, we cannot give these guys anything. Okay, restart deep back into the French half. Aldrit catches, and Wanikolo does a good tackle. The French set. Luku looks to box and exits. A little bit of a train being set up here. Luku kicks. Back into the Fijian half. Fijian 15. Makala takes a nice run, pops it off to our Fijian number 8, Mata. Strong run at the center, and it's hit into a French player. It's knocked on. Not a penalty, though, or was it full on, ref? Romani controlling things. It is an advantage for Fiji for the French player being offside. Excellent work. Good awareness of the 9, Romani, to see that lazy French runner and hit him with the ball, get the penalty. So here the Fijians have license to play. It'd be really interesting to see what they're doing. Lovely run up, I think, by number 5, Nasila Sila. So Fijian attack looking good, but French defense holding strong. I believe it's still advantage. Some quick feet, but strong tackles. Right, ref eventually calling and saying no advantage gained. It's just going sideways. So we'll come back for the Fijian penalty. Okay, so quite promising there from the Fijians. I think every time they get the ball, we expect them just to score, right? To do something amazing, to do some ridiculous behind the back, one-handed no-look pass. But this actually looked like proper phase rugby. Taking it up, looking for space, cleaning out nicely, sending men with support, and working their way across the field. The French defense was just very good. So Caleb Muntz takes us down the field with an excellent penalty kick just outside the 5-meter, deep into French territory. So here we go, a real test for the Fijian forwards. What can they produce? First things first, you have to win your line out. So Fijian number 2, Ikanivere, throws all the way to the back. Excellent take. Nice pop off the top to number 8. Massive run. Good tackle by Aldrit. Secured by the Fijian forwards. Little pick and go around the corner, but the French dealing with that well. Lomani in, says my ball. He's got forwards, he's got backs. Goes himself, and it looks like a knock-on, unfortunately. So Lomani looked like he wasn't Lomani, excuse me. He was up too quickly. One of the Fijian forwards must have got their hands on the ball, went round the corner, and unfortunately just knocked it on. Okay, excellent line out, great take off the back, and a pop from the top down to number 8. Big run, great tackle by Aldrit. His knees aren't as big as his chest. So here we see a better angle. Yeah, one of the forwards, unfortunately, just as he was going in nice and low, had that ball dislodged. So great defense by the French. I think the Fijians, though, looking quite promising. As we set now for a French scrum, deep in French territory. They will look to exit here. Could we see potentially some running rugby? I doubt it from this deep in the French half, but never count the French out. Okay, so 12 minutes in, 13 and a half minutes in rather, 9 points to 0, 3 early penalties. Right, the scrum going France's way. Unfortunately, the Fijians there letting the French get off a bit easily. Didn't see what the ref called it for, but getting a penalty. So it just alleviates all that pressure. You know, the Fijians have done such a good work earning that penalty up the field, pinning France down on their half, securing line-out ball, unfortunate knock-on, but still a scrum that deep in your half. You've got to... look, it's not likely you're going to push them off the ball, but at least make them work for it. Let them know that you were there to scrum. Giving away the penalty just, unfortunately gives them a bit too much room to breathe. So the French kick it back downfield. Still in the French half, but midway between the 22 and the 50. French number 10, not having to do too much at the moment. Hastoy. And we have a French line-out. To the back once again. The French look to maul. The Fijians slow to get there. The French able to build some momentum. But then ultimately stopped. But then start again. So a little bit stopping, starting. Good control from the French. The Fijians need to look, how can they stop this as soon as possible? Ball goes off down the left. Looks to chip forward, but unfortunately, Luku, I think it came off a Fijian player. His little stab through directly into touch. So I believe we'll have another French line-out. Indeed we do. So Luku looking to go and possibly pop it through. Maybe he saw space behind, but unfortunately hitting a Fijian player. So French line-out just inside of Fijian territory. We come to the front. The French look to maul again. Why wouldn't you? Who had success on the first one. And here they slowly start to creep forward. Not as quickly as last time. The Fijians seem to be wised up a bit. Luku takes it. Gives it out to Hastoy. Back inside. Lovely little break there through the French number 11. Mwafuana. Aldred doing great things through the middle. Popping off to Arthur Vincent. French need quick ball here, but the Fijians say, no, thank you very much. That is my ball. Excellent work by Lamani, who comes up with the ball. Was it his handiwork, turning over the ball there? So Vincent potentially running in alone. It was great footwork and a break from Aldrich, who gave it off to Vincent. But Lamani might have been just over the ball. Sorry for that, guys. I want to just pop. There we go. Better. The ref is saying time off, having a chat with one of the props, one of the Fijian props. All right, so down for another injury, not one of the props, just having a chat. Next Saturday, we've got England and Fiji. So the final warm-up game for England and Fiji before the World Cup starts. That will be a big one. Yeah, England, I think, will be looking to improve on today's game, performance against Ireland. I think very concerning with Billy Vunipola, his yellow card, which went then for a review and was ultimately upgraded to a red card. It's just like, I don't know, English shoulders are attracted to heads. It just, you know, it needs to be dealt with. And now, you know, a couple of weeks out before the World Cup is probably not the best time to try and deal with it. But anyway, back to this game. The Fijians grabbed a penalty and a lovely deep kick from the Fijian number 10. Caleb Muntz takes us into French territory. Excellent work. Having a look at the replay here, it was indeed Lomani, the Fijian number 9, doing great work to steal there. So, Fijians set up a line-out just inside the French half. Oh, but it is stolen by the French. Taken off the top, popped to the back line. Aldred sends it. Here they go. Let's see these French backs run. Given to Vincent. He dummies. He takes it back inside. Nice strong run. Ultimately brought down. Still in the French half. And a Fijian penalty. Holding on. So Arthur Vincent, second time. Holding on. Isolated there. He had players around him, but the Fijians so quick over the ball. And the Fijians do indicate that they are going for post. So potentially for the Fijians to get some points on the board. I think a very smart play. Unfortunate that the Fijians didn't win that line-out. It would be nice to see some of their phases, that running rugby that we were hoping for. So while we set up for this line-out, guys, don't forget we are brought to you by Bitdefender. So Forever Sports has partnered with Bitdefender, a global leader in cybersecurity. Bitdefender is committed to defending people all around the globe against cyber attacks to transform and improve their digital experience. A big thank you to Bitdefender for sponsoring the channel. Okay, so having a look, the shot clock now comes into play. We've got Caleb Muntz now with 21 seconds on the clock. He is still putting the ball on the tee. This might be the first time I've seen, I don't know about you guys, that we might see the shot clock run out. He now has 12 seconds. He has to rush his kick. Here goes 7, 6. He's got 5. He steps up. He hoops it downfield. And he converts. Okay, big sigh of relief there for Caleb. He will probably not be very happy with his support staff. In those comments, let me know, because I was having a debate or a conversation with someone about when the shot clock starts. When do you start the shot clock? Is it when you indicate for that you want to go for poles? And in which case, you know, you've got to get the tee on immediately. Okay, we've gone for a quick restart. The French have disrupted the kick. They've pinned Lomani back in his half. However, the ref has blown potentially for a French knock-on. So unfortunate there. France looking like to apply some pressure straight from the get-go, but not being able to control that ball. So a sigh of relief for the Fijians as they have a scrum still in their half, and they will look to exit. So a bit of confusion as to where the ball was going. That pot of forwards didn't quite set up in the correct position. They'll be looking to do better. So 9-3, 19 minutes in. Fijian scrum on the left-hand side, or depending which way you're looking at it, when we look at it from a traditional camera angle, left-hand side of the field, deep left corner, we've got a Fijian scrum, and these guys will look, no doubt, to exit, potentially run a bit. I keep saying that. I keep hoping that it'll diffuse through and they'll heed my words. I wouldn't say advice. All right, scrum looks stable. It does pop up. The ref is looking, but he says play on. Lomani gets it out to Munt, who shifts it through the back line. Lovely pass out. Can we get all the way to the wing? But going through, excellent tackle by Arthur Vincent there. No counter-ruck. The Fijians secure. They throw in a bit too many players. Goodness gracious, the forwards take a long time to get across from that scrum. So we had to wait until the forwards ran all the way across. Now, this is the area where I think the Fijians can improve. It's that smart rugby. It's preventing your forwards from having to run all the way across the field. Lomani box kicks deep into French half. And the French player says, well, we'll just send it straight back to you. Easily dealt with by the Fijian number 15. Kala, who then in his 22 looks to find touch and kicks it out and finds a good clearance into French territory. So going back while we have some time, what I was saying is that the Fijians, yeah, they had an exit play. They must have had an exit play, which was to sort of get it all the way to the other side of the field. And it just felt like a long way for their forwards to run all the way across. So French line out to the back. The French looked to maul. There was a bit of disconnect there, ref, but we'll play on anyway. French finding some momentum. The Fijians able to somewhat stop it, but slowly creeping up the field. Look who's looking for that ball. Here he goes. Gets it out to Dante. Does a good strong run, but dealt with by the Fiji defenders. Back to the left-hand side we come, bouncing back the same direction. Always tough because this is where the Fijian defenders and the forwards are. Now we go to the right. Aldrich with ball in hand. Lots of touches for Aldrich, but stopped in his tracks and driven backwards by the Fijian defenders. Luku, who poises to box kick, hoists one up in the air. Caught excellently by Semi Radradra. We know what his skills are. Dealt with fantastically in the air. He was your captain, your Fijian captain, Semi Radradra today. Dealt nicely with the Fijians. Lomani now looks to box and clear, and he does. Now, given some chase by the Fijian wingers, and absolutely eaten was the French 15. Jaminet, but did well to catch under pressure, but then smothered by two massive Fijians. So the French now move it to the right-hand side. Nice little pick and go there from the French hooker up the field. This is where France love in the bloke and play. Here we go, the French 14 down the right-hand side. He's got support on both sides. Looks to pop, goes to ground. Luca collects, but is tackled. The ball is all over the place. However, the ref and the touch judge note saying play on. So nice little broken play there. The French taking advantage of it. The Fijians are able to set their defense. Aldrich takes it up the field and loses it forward. The Fijians collect it. So again, the French attack looking quite threatening, but the Fijian defense able to neutralize it. Lomani hoists it downfield. He's going to hope it finds touch. It does not. Jaminet collects, runs it back. Ball in hand is chopped at the knees. The French have so many numbers to the left. Nice little pick and go up the center again by the French hooker. He's found space there twice. So Mauwaka looking for space. Here come the French to the left. Quick hands is needed, or a lovely skip pass out to the French 11. We've got Cretin, the French 7, on the wing, taking it up. The French now look to move back to the right. Aldrich takes it into contact, dealt with easily by Fijian defenders. Luku goes again, giving out to the back line. Out the back, nice move. We've got an overlap. There's 2-on-1. Aldrich, oh my goodness, I think that was the wrong choice. Excuse me, the ball is now stolen. Can we see something special from Fiji here? Too many French defenders around him. He needs to go to ground. There we go. I do think Aldrich made the wrong choice there. He had a support player on the right-hand side. It was 2-on-1. He stepped back inside. Lamani takes it back, looks to clear. It's a big kick and does find touch eventually. I think everyone, myself included, breathed a bit of sigh of relief there. Ball was on the field for a long time. That is unfortunate. Gregory Aldrich there, you know, I've been in that position as well, where you think you can score, you've got someone on the outside, you make the wrong choice, but I do think France were in for all money had that final pass been made. Okay, so as I said, the French attack looking quite good, but the Fijian defense holding strong. So here we see a replay, lovely little backline move, lovely pass, 2-on-1. Oh, pass had to go. Pass had to go. I do think, yeah, I think Louis Bellabari was waiting for it, and unfortunately it just did not come. It happens. It happens. Okay, so we've got a Fijian penalty, and they're going to look. Again, not sure. Sorry about that, guys. Not sure what that's for. I missed what the ref's signal was. High tackle. Okay, there it is. We just saw the replay. So it doesn't look like anything more than just a penalty, but it was Weenie Antonio. High contact there, or high tackle rather, but nothing more, just a penalty. So Fijian line out on the halfway. Again, we go deep to the back. The Fijians look to drive. The ball goes down. The ref says play on. It's not forward. See, there's small things. The Fijians got the right idea. Aldrich is... Oh, no. Looks like the whistle was blown a bit prematurely. Okay, so we had a no stop. Then we had a whistle blown. Then we had a knock on. Now we have a penalty. So it looks like the officials just need to get their comms up, because the all players turn and kind of look a bit disappointed, actually. Anyway, so another Fijian penalty. And our Fijian number 10, Caleb Muntz, looks to take us deep into the French territory. I feel like if Fiji can really score a try, they will be emboldened by that. Their confidence will grow. We haven't necessarily seen much of that Fijian flying, running rugby, but it has been not quite clinical. Here we go down for the maul at the back of the lineout. So they've done all the hard work to get the ball to the back, collect it, and then it just kind of went on a hand. Okay, another Fijian lineout to about the middle on the 22. Nice, comes out. Fijian hooker takes it up excellently, but tackled really well by Aldrich. Romani gets it out to another Fijian forward. Places it back. Quick ball. This is what they want. Here it comes. Out to Muntz, gets it to the back line. Looks to Radradra. Keeps it. Nice strong run over the gain line, but unfortunately knocks it on into French hands, and they hoof it downfield. The Fijians are back quick enough. Fijian 15. Strong run up over the halfway line. Makala does well to recollect that, get back to his support player so he's not isolated. Muntz looks to shift it out to the forwards on the wing. Ortia does well. Lamani back to the right-hand side. So the Fijians are getting quick ball. French coming up quickly on the outskirts, not allowing the Fijians to get it to the wings. Lamani dummies and goes himself, but lots of French traffic there. Caleb Muntz in at scrum half now. Here we go. So, again, phases by the Fijians. Ball is knocked backwards in the tackle. And they come to the right-hand side. So, Radradra looks, probes, finds a hole. Ball is knocked out of his hands. I guess that is one of the downsides, running with the ball in your hands so loose. Aldrich at the base of the scrum gives it to Luku, fires it out to the left-hand side. The French are down here. Jaminet makes some ground. Luku again back to the right-hand side. Carried up by the French number 4. Makes good progress. Dealt with well by the Fijians. Still to the right-hand side, the French go. Luku's getting clean ball. Nice skip pass. Flat pass to the French 14. Down the wing he goes. He's got one to beat. Jeepers, that looked high, sir. Anyway, smothered by Fijian defenders. Here comes Luku to the left-hand side. They've got tons of space. They've got players. Excellent pass. Number 7 needs to give it to number 2. And over he goes. Mauvaka. Pietro Mauvaka for France. The French number 2 on the left-hand side. Excellent try there by the French. Identifying the space. They had players. They had the space. It was good handling to get it out to the left-hand side. So unfortunate for the Fijians because, I think they were looking good, but you've got to have your defense on all the time. So this came from a lovely skip pass, flat pass down the right-hand side. Excellent run by the French 14, who I think that tackle still needs to be looked at. We might see something here. Surely the TMO is seeing this. He's chopped low and then high. However, so the mitigation would be that player first tackling him, but then lovely hands by the French. Good draw and pass. For a moment there, I thought Owen Farrell was on the field because there were no arms in that tackle. Anyway, it looked like Radradra just giving, I think it was number 7 for France, who made the last pass, creating a little bit of a, consequence. You want to score an assisting pass, this is what you've got to take. But we don't seem to be getting anything from the match officials, but any foul play, so c'est la vie. Life goes on. Okay, so Jaminet lines up to kick right on the left-hand side. Not an easy kick. He's got 9 seconds. He steps up and he absolutely drills it straight through the center. That is what, 4? 4 from 4? Excellent, excellent, excellent kicking from Jaminet. So 16-3 at about the 30-minute mark. I do think scoreline is a fair reflection. It's tough. It's tough. The Fijians have looked all right, but France definitely looking like the better side at the moment. Can the Fijians pull something back before half time? It would be massive for their morale. I think going into the change room, even though you would still be losing, I think a penalty, ideally a try, a converted try, sort of puts you at 16-10. I mean, that's, you feel like you're in a good position there. But I think even just another score gets them going in the change room. Right, restart back to Aldrich again. Good carry, but effective tackle by the Fijians. Luka looks to box and clear. So pretty straightforward extra strategies we've seen. There's not been much. He doesn't box. He hoists it back to his number 10, Hostoy, who, to be fair, doesn't do the best clearance kick in the world. It looks like he just gets out of French. Well, it's still in French territory, but just outside the French 22. So halfway between the 22 and the 10-meter. Okay, let's have a look. The Fijians have done well with the lineouts so far tonight in sort of their calls, collecting, catching. It's just been a few things after that. So can they tidy it up around their set piece, give their backs good ball? Again, we go to the back, and it's an overthrow, but collected by the Fijian 10. Fancy footwork, excellent work through there. Makes a great run up. That is Caleb Muntz. Fantastic run by him. Here come the Fijian forwards, smashing up the midfield, dealt well with by the French defense. Right, pick and go around the corner. Fiji making excellent ground here. You feel like this is it. They have to score. Another pick and go on the left-hand side, just about in the middle of the posts now. Can they keep their discipline? Shift it off to another part just on the left. Really good meters made. You just need one more drive just like that. Pick and go. There's lots of traffic through there. The ref is working hard to be in position. Here they go. You feel like they have to be over. They are over. The Fijians score. Excellent work by the Fijians. Trying to see who comes up with it. It does look like the Fijian hooker, Kanivere, but excellent, excellent strength by him and good work by the Fijians. I think, came from an overthrow, but great work by Caleb Muntz to sort of pounce on it. Excellent footwork here in the replay we see. Really, really quick stuff. Getting around 1-2 defenders. Ultimately brought down by the French number 9, Luku. And then the Fijians shifting the ball to the little pot of forwards. Great strength on the ground by Ikanivere to get them over. Okay, so here we go. Game very much on. Caleb Muntz with the conversion to come. Can they get another score before the half? Could they go into halftime leading, guys? Let me know your thoughts in those comments. Let me know your score predictions. What do we think? Could we see a Fiji upset? I mean, who do we have in the chat earlier? We have Not Senti saying, imagine a Fiji upset. Well, we're not too far from it now. The conversion is good. We are at 16-10. Come on, guys. One converted try away from a good halftime score for the Fijians. They will be very happy with that. Ideally, they want to be ahead, but they are doing the right things to get ahead. Excellent work. Right, here we go. Restart. The French kick it deep. Fijians are able to collect and run into the French defense. Lamani looks to clear. And he does. Kicks it deep. It goes out. Still in the Fijian half, but near the 50 meter. I think they would be happy with that clearance kick. So French line out in Fijian territory. I'm sure France will obviously wanting to be getting those points back. Not contesting the line outs quick. Here we come to the back. What can the French do? Nice balls out the back. Lovely skip pass to the wing. French number 11. Mofuana, but dealt with well by the Fijian defenders. We go back to the right-hand side. Aldrich again is hit very hard by a Fijian defender who dislodges the ball and I think loses it himself. Yes, it looks like a knock-on advantage to France. Aldrich gets back up. He has carried the ball tons of times today, playing excellently. Oof, big, strong run up by Juani Antonio, but equally matched by the Fijian defenders. They are here to play. Oh, lovely quick hands by Hastoy, I believe. But read well and stolen by the Fijians, and then a bit too greedy. So again, all the hard work done. All the hard work done. And I think it was the number 8, Mata, then just sort of, yeah, his eyes lit up. So excellent work by Fijian number 12. Yeah, Radra was there, got his hands on the ball, disrupted that. And then Viliame Mata just went to pick and go, knocked it on. So French scrum. The left-hand side of the field. We are 35 minutes in. The score is 16-10. Will there be another score before the half, guys? Let me know in the comments. What do we think? Thank you so much for joining me here on Forever Rugby with Forever Sports, guys. Yeah, if you haven't already, you know what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to hit that like button. I'm going to ask you to hit the subscribe button. If you can, please have a look at joining our members club. Becoming a member allows us to cover more sports. It allows us to grow the team. It allows us to, allow you guys to have access to more sports. I mean, we are putting out so much content at the moment. Player reviews, pre-warm-up stuff, fan clubs. I mean, there is an endless amount of content on the channel. Please go check it out. And it's all thanks to you guys. So the more engagement we get in the chats, the more likes, the more comments, the more of you subscribe, the more of you join our members club, the more we can do for you. So look at it that way. Help us help you. Okay, a bit of a reset on the scrum there. We are still on the left-hand side, just within, I believe, French territory. Luca looks to feed. The scrum is stable. Aldrich picks and goes at the back. Makes good meters. Ultimately brought down. Luca looks to bounce back to the left. A bit indecisive. Not really sure that was the right move. Taken in by the French number 4. Advantage to France, maybe for an offside. So French have license to play. A cross kick by Hastoy. Oh my goodness, that was centimeters. Collected by the Fijian wing, but they will come back for the penalty. He was almost through there. It was either Louis Belabari or Mofuana. I think it was number 14. I think it was Lewis. That was very, very close, but well neutralized. So great run from Aldrich there off the scrum, making good grounds. Just a tireless workhorse, really making his presence felt in this French side. So the French have a penalty left-hand side of the field between the 5 and the 15 meter. Let's call it the 10 meter, and about 45 meters from the Fijian lineout. So we are not going to go for poles from here. Instead, Antoine Hastoy is going to kick for touch. He will no doubt want to get as close to that Fijian 5 meter as he can, and he does very well. Looks at about the 6-7. Okay, touch judge. Sure, that's where you're going to put it. Probably about the 8 to 10 meter mark. Okay, so the French here have an excellent attacking opportunity. French line out deep into Fijian territory. 2 minutes before the half, they go to the center. Here comes a maul. Fijians should be wise to this by now. They spin it a bit hard to the one side. The Fijians need to redo. Aldrich comes away with the ball, makes a good run up the left, but tackled effectively by the Fijians, taken down. Nice little pick and go, and a pass there from the French number 2, Malvaka, doing excellently in this game, all over the place. Luku commanding the forwards there, saying, come around the right. He wants them to go, but he goes to the left. Can they get over the line here before the half? Absolutely they can. Uni Antonio, big number 3 for France, smashing into the defense. Down he goes, reaches for the line, and scores the try. So it did feel a bit inevitable that France were going to score from that position, given how the attack's been looking. I'm a bit disappointed in the Fijian defense. I thought they might have had the opportunity there to disrupt it. But how are you supposed to stop a man that big from that close? And he did really, really well to score. So, Uini Antonio, excellent. So, good French line out here. You feel like the Fijians have to wise up how they're going to deal with that maul. Aldrich takes it up, but excuse me, tackled well. And then you've got 2 men on him, and you can't stop him. So go low, go high. He goes down, got one stretch, and he just gets to the line. So 21-10 with the kick to come. Possibly a fair reflection of the half. I do think the French have played, have been the better side. I think it would have been exciting, personally and selfishly, to go in 16-10, even potentially a Fijian score. But let's have a look. So Jaminet looks to take a kick deep from the left-hand side again. This will be the end of the half. Oh my word, he hits the right-hand upright. So that is his first miss of the game. Otherwise, he has been absolutely on point. It's been brilliant kicking from Melvin Jaminet. And that brings us to the half, guys. So we go into halftime 21-10. France leading Fiji at halftime. I think it's been frenetic. There hasn't been, many long phases of sort of dull rugby. And that's due to both the exciting nature that both these teams play, but also errors, unfortunately. So we have seen the Fijians start to put pressure on the French, and then through unforced errors, knock-ons, pick and goes, they've sort of given the French a bit of leeway. So unfortunate on that front, but I think encouraging from Fiji. We know this isn't a full strength French side. However, you still doesn't say that on the team sheet. Doesn't say France not full strength. So I think Fiji will be encouraged by that. They have scored a try, they have gotten over, and they've got a penalty. So there isn't that big fat 0 sitting on the scoreline. I think they'll go into the second half knowing what they need to improve on. They need to improve on their set play. Scrums haven't been too bad, but the lineouts, they have to look to win and get out to the backs. I think they will also look to their discipline around the hands. Again, I think one of the not disadvantages, but potential risks of running with the ball so freely as they do, often in one hand, is that if a player comes in to tackle you, that ball is likely to be knocked on. So something the Fijians just need to clean up a little bit. I think the defenses look pretty good for the first couple of phases, and if the French then start to get in behind them, I think we're starting to see maybe some fitness issues. Those Fijians look a bit slow to get back and into position. So a bit concerning from a fitness standpoint. But from a neutral standpoint, it's been a great game to watch. It's been exciting. There's been scoring. That first sort of 10 minutes, France was scoring every 3 minutes with a penalty. But the Fijians did well not to drop their heads, to keep going, to fight back, to eventually get that penalty of their own, as well as a try. But I'm looking forward to seeing more. I don't feel like we've quite seen either side unleashed. I feel like we need. I want to see people in space. Especially Fijians and this French side, who can be so, devastating in space. So I'm really hoping that they look to create that space and allow their players to get into that space, because you've got excellent ball carriers in both teams that you just want to unleash. So it'll be very interesting to see as we go into the second half. Yeah, if you were asked me to put money on it, I do feel like France comes out on top. I am worried about that Fijian fitness. I'm worried about their discipline. They were giving away quite a few penalties. So I do think France wins it, but I do think that the Fijians have the ability to come back from anywhere and to score from anywhere. We know that they can do that, but I do think the French will eventually take it. So before I leave you guys, just for a couple minutes, having a look if there's anything else I can leave you with. One thing I do want to say before we go to the half is, in addition to being brought to you guys by Bitdefender, we are also sponsored by Boyle Sports. So Boyle Sports is our official betting partner for Forever Sports. Okay, so do you want to put your money where your mouth is? Then good news, Forever Sports has partnered with Boyle Sports as the official betting partner for the channel. Boyle Sports has just recently launched in South Africa, and there's never been a better time to join. Make sure you go check them out and place your bets. Links in the description. So guys, if you are interested in potentially making a bit of money, putting your money where your mouth is, go check out Boyle Sports. The link's in the description. If you haven't already, one more time for the people in the back, please, 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 please go like, subscribe, and if you can, ladies and gents, become a member of Forever Sports. It allows us to cover more sports for you guys. Okay, that is me for now for the first half. I will be back with you guys a couple of minutes before the second half. So I look forward to seeing you then. Let me know in the chat, what do you think? The French, can they do it? Can they clinch to win? Or can the Fijians pull off an upset? I'll be back with you guys soon. Thanks. Right, welcome back, everyone. We are a couple minutes away from heading into the second half of France versus Fiji. So, having a look that first half, yeah, I think some positives from both sides. I think both sides will look to improve in certain areas. I think neither side will be extremely happy with the way they've been playing. I think big things for Fiji is their sort of clinical nature around the ball. I mean, we know that traditionally, that's not been Fiji's way. However, they are coming off a 3-game win streak, winning the Pacific Nations Cup, playing really good rugby. So we know they can do it. Just against the top tier sides, they do seem to struggle. I think the French will, be slightly happier. If you was asking which camp would be happier, I think the French will be happier with where they're at. I feel like they definitely do feel, and I think they deserve to be on top, but they will be looking to hopefully set their flyers into some space. So having a look, we've got players still in the change rooms, or at least this is feed from the change rooms. Lots of French heads looking a bit down, but potentially just a bit tired. Lovely snacks on the tables there. Coaching staff having a word. French players listening very intently. Have a look at the chat there, guys. Yeah, let me know. I'd like to hear thoughts. I've kind of given my prediction. I do think the French will come away with it. I think they look like the strongest side. I think they definitely were the favourites going in. In our win predictor, we do have a poll going. We had a poll going. I think it was 90% saying that France are going to come away with a win. Not much hope for the Fijians then, but 16-10 was quite close. Do they have it in the tank to take it for the next 40 minutes? Keep up with the French. Yeah, and outdo them. So having a quick recap of the game so far today. South Africa dismantling a Welsh side 52-16. Ireland dealing with England 29-10. Italy really showing Romania the ropes 57-7 at full time. And then obviously we are currently half time between France and Fiji at 21-10. So some big points margins in the games today. Notably Scotland not playing, having a bit of a rest this weekend. But we will see some very exciting next weekend as well. Here we go. The players are coming out onto the field. Jaminet has been excellent at 15, both with ball and boot. He's really caught and dealt with pressure well from the high ball. But then he has missed 1 out of his 5 kicks, scoring 3 penalties and a conversion. So really excellent work by the French number 15. We've got 2 tries, both of them instantly from front rows. So not often, in a French side, do you see the front rows being the ones with your tries, which is excellent work. It shows you how mobile they are and strong. Looking at the Fijian side, we've got 1 try again from our front row. So actually, all 3 tries in the game have been scored by numbers 1 through 3. And in fact, I think it's even just 2 through 3. Yeah, absolutely. So really interesting. The big boys putting in the work for both sides here. But can the Fijians set loose some of their flyers? We do have a substitution that was made earlier on that I missed. So number 20 for Fiji, Albert Tuise, is on for number 6, Meli Deranalahi. And here we go. So Fijians kick it off, now playing from right to left. Luku collects and kicks it downfield. The Fijians collect, though, on the left-hand side. They take it to the center, looking to run it straight up. Fijian number 8, Mata, taking a strong run up the center. Lamani looks, and the French have turned it over with a penalty. So not an ideal start for the Fijians. Again, looking to set up that attacking platform. But that man, Dante, hands all over the balls. He is a prolific poacher. Strong, gets in a good position. He's turned over a number of balls. He's really, really quite good at it. And here we go. So almost, not quite a repetition of the first half, but the French signaling that they are going to go for the posts. Again, quite an interesting decision. With 21 points up to 10. Quite deep. And you go for posts. Could this potentially be a player preservation tactic? Could this be... Look, we don't really want to keep running against the Fijians. Could we wind down the clock? Could we take the points? Because you're arguably 2 scores clear, of the Fijians coming back. Maybe they want some more breathing room. Fair enough. But could it potentially be, look, the less we have to run with the ball or, tackle your Oaks, the better. Jamine lines up just inside the Fijian half, splits the upright. He's got the distance. There you go. He's made up for his mistake. Jamine adds another one to his tally there. So fourth converted penalty. And that takes the score to 24 points to 10. Within the first minute, the French are on the scoreboard again in the second half. So, not an ideal start for the Fijians. Again, being isolated at the breakdown, you felt like they had players there. Right, we've got another substitution. Number 18 for Fiji comes on. So Luke Tagi comes on for one of the front rows. Restart is kicked deep, but then cleared by Lamani. And it takes us to the French 10 meter. It is a Fijian lineout, so maybe it must have been tipped. Oh, sorry, I got my directions wrong. Okay, overthrow. And again, our number 10, Caleb Muntz, collects and makes a good run. Lamani goes and gives it to the left, out to the backs. Here come the Fijians. Can they start to fly? We start to see quick balls. Number 4, Ahiwara Sirikidavaiti takes it up. Goodness gracious. But then, again, the French are able to turn it over. Fijian bodies are flying all over the place as the ball spurts out backwards. The French have it. Luku looks to settle things and conduct traffic at the back. He's lining up some forwards. Will he pass? Yes, he does. Forward pack takes it up the left-hand side. Driving back, Nasila. Now Luku look to box. Are within their 22. And, yep, he says, right, enough of that. Taking it out. And out they go. So, again, you felt like the Fijians were getting on the front foot, starting to make some promising play. Aha, okay, well, I don't know if that's where it came from, but Lomani went to go pick and pass, and as he was in the motion of passing, one of the French players got his arm disrupting the ball, and that's how they were able to turn it over. So a couple substitutions we have here for the French front row. So Wadi, number 1, is off. It looks like our try scorer, Antonio, is off indeed. So both props off for France. Here it goes. Line on is 1. Out it comes the Fijian backs. Radradra, strong run at the center. But he is met by the double team of, I believe it was Aldrich and our French number 10. The Fijians still have possession. They work it back to the right-hand side. Strong carry up the center. But again, neutralized by the French defense. Out to the right. Wood shifts the ball. We get it out to the wing. And it is not sideways. Sideways, says the referee. We play on. Lamani has the ball coming back to the left-hand side now. The Fijians need to rebuild again. At times, they're able to keep ball in hand, but we do a box kick. Got to put pressure on the French. Dean, who doesn't catch it well. Here we go. Some Fijian rugby offloads. Lovely. The Fijians have it. They are deep in French 22 on the right-hand side. Forward screaming for it. Out the back. The French defense was up quickly, cutting off Caleb Muntz's pass. Lamani's there again. They look to build. Out the back. Our Fijian number 11 is calling for it. He's got acres of space in front of him. Bobasi saying, give it this way. We go back to the right-hand side to the forwards who crash it up the center. This is better from Fiji. Can they keep the momentum, keep the phase pressure going? It's a pick and go. Well, Lamani looks. Distributes to the right. Once gives it out. I believe to Kolo, and it is a knock-on. Here come the French. So a counter-attack. Luku stabs it forward. Fijians are back quickly, though, in numbers. So, bit of an overrun there. But the ref says play on. Okay, so it looks potentially like a knock-on, but not backwards. And then the whistle is blown. Okay, so second time we've seen the ref kind of say play on and then get another call either from the touch judge or the TMO. But it is a knock-on from the Fijian player deep in their own half, almost in front of the posts. Fijian's a bit bemused. Again, I need to see that again on the replay saying, look, we were going backwards. How could we knock that forwards? Which again, I understand. So here we, no, this is a bit earlier on. Again, that ball placement spilled up, but excellent quick and go from Dante there down the wing back to Luca, who stabs it forward. I thought the Fijians had dealt with this really well. Just overran it. There is the knock on. So unfortunately, the Fijian fullback, Makala, sort of overran it, went down to scoop. We know how rugby ball bounces unpredictably. And as he reached out his hand, knocks it on. So deservedly a French scrum, a very good attacking platform. The Fijians will have to work incredibly hard here not to concede points. I think the French will be disappointed if they don't come away with some points here. It's a good opportunity for them. So we set the scrum and it goes down immediately. Scrum penalty to France. Surely they don't go, oh, no. And it's reversed. Scrum penalty to Fiji. So the ref must have gotten a call from his assistant on the other side saying, nah, mate, change that call. And the call has changed. So I think Fiji, very happy with that reversal. They got away with it there. The French will be upset. Just had substitutes on. So you feel like those props should be, a bit fresher. So having a look at our substitutions at the moment, it is just the 2 props for France. We have a prop, flank, and the center out for Fiji. So 3 subs used. Okay, Fijian line out. Go to the back, comes off the top. Oh, number 7. I wasn't sure where his hooker was, but he comes around the corner eventually, making an excellent run. What a good charge up the field that was by the Fijian number 2, our try scorer for Fiji, Ikanivere. Excellent work. Lomani gets it out to Muns, who distributes it wide. Excellent stiff arm. Nice run up the field there by the Fijian backs. So surely that was out offside, but he says no. Yes, he does. Oh my goodness. This ref needs to get his calls. He says nothing, play on, then there's a penalty. Okay, so penalty is given. I believe it was for an offside. It looked like, I think Dante came around a bit too soon. Caleb Muntz looks to settle things and kick us upfield deep into French territory. He takes us. Okay, come on, Fiji now. Surely this is your opportunity to score and close that gap. 24 points to 10. It's good running, but good defense as well by the French. Okay, so Dante potentially thought, right, ball was out. So what happened there, I believe the penalty looked like for almost a no-arms tackle. He came into tackle, then had second thoughts, tried to pull out, but hit the man with his chest. The Fijians go to the back of the line out. They give it from the top. Lamani distributes to Radradra. Excellent strong run, but good tackle by the French 13. Center of the field, Lamani gives pops to Mata, the number 8. Lamani again distributes to our number 2, our Ikanivere, our try scorer. Takes up the field. Lamani to the right again. To the right-hand side. Okay, Lamani looks to come back to a pot of forwards. The Fijians making good ground here. Can they keep this discipline and not, let me not say anything further than that. Here come the Fijians, still ball in hand. Forwards look to pick and go. Strong drive up the field, surely over the line, ref. The ball is worked back. I'm sure if we check the cameras, that's probably a try. The French are stacked around their try line. Guys, there's no way through there. No, come on. Look for a different tactic now. We're right on the French line. Ball still in the hands of the Fijian forwards. Ikanavera tries again. Met with strong defense. But the Fijians keep going. But the French are there. So you feel like there has to be something else. Okay, penalty advantage for the Fijians, possibly for an offsides. So come Fiji, you've got license to play now. Let's see it out the back. It goes indeed to Radradra. Takes it up through the center, reaches, scores. Excellent try by the Fijians. Great strength by Captain Semi Radradra, number 12. Excellent, excellent try. So good hard work by the Fijians to work it there, to suck in the French defense, to get the penalty, give them that freedom that allows them to get that ball out. So Semi Radradra with ball in hand, devastating. Strong run, bounces off 13, pushes off number 10, goes to ground, knows he's got the reach, reaches and scores. Excellent, excellent work by Semi Radradra. Great strength. You feel like the French defense has to do better. Potentially a bit of a mismatch there. Such a strong... Ladies and gentlemen, just seeing this replay. That looked very close to not being on the line. But I can't imagine we're going to have anything called back yet. Caleb Muntz will look to take this kick and make it so. And there it is, converted. So 24 points to 17. Game on. Again, be interesting to see that. Here we go. This is probably the angle we want. Okay, no, he gets it down. Fair enough. Okay, it was just a bit of deception there. He's got that ball on the line. Sammy Radradra scores a legitimate try. Excellent work. Good strength. Yeah, as I was saying before that angle, possibly a bit of a mismatch. You got Sammy Radradra on Lukuku and Hastoy, not the biggest guys on the field. Got to be smarter when lining up, but well done. Okay, Makalu makes an appearance, comes onto the field, potentially to bring some size and experience. Having a few words here before we get going. We've got another substitution. So the French now starting to bring on their substitutes. I believe that is Francois Cros. And here we go. We get underway for Makalu. Deep kick. Makalu evolved immediately. Tackle. Tries to go for steal, but cleaned off effectively by the Fijians. Lamani, I think, has been really, really good for the Fijians. I think he's been excellent. I don't think he's had many mistakes, if any. I think his box kicks have been decent. I think his passing has been on point. His directing of traffic has been good. Right, Jamine collects and runs. Steps one, beats the second, and then tackled by the third. And unfortunately, a knock on from the Fijians, but that doesn't look good for Jamine. He is holding his ankle. This is not what the French coaching staff will want to see. Hopefully nothing more than potentially just a bad knock. We've got the magic spray onto the ankle. He's putting some weight on it. It was a good collect. Looked for the space. Beat the first. And then taken down by the second. Potentially just landed a bit awkwardly on it. But the French coaching staff will be hoping that it's nothing more than just a bit of a tweak. Yeah, given the injuries that have happened over the last couple of weeks before the World Cup, I think all teams are understandably a bit nervous whenever a player goes down, and the fans as well. Goodness gracious. Every time bloody Cheslin Colby ran into the defense, he's so strong, but at the same time then so light and just thrown around like a bit of a rag doll. I was, gritting my teeth. But what a game he had earlier, as well as Kane and Moody. Excellently deserved. Man of the match performance by the young man. Right, so we have a French scrum. The scrum is steady. We are in Fijian territory on the right-hand side, still between the trams. French scrum and scrum seems to deteriorate. The ref saying play on. The ball comes loose. And then eventually the ref decides to blow the whistle once chaos ensues. But it's a reset. So again, he's calling scrum, both sides coming up. The scrum is reset. So having a look once again at our substitutions a bit more now. So Gregory Aldrich is off. I thought an excellent performance from him. Very interesting. So the starting hooker for France, Pietro Maovaka, has gone to 8th man. I did think he looked incredibly mobile. So this is potentially, like a great move that France have up their sleeves. They've got, and a short arm given to Fiji at the scrum. They won't like that. France, you've got a great attacking platform there, and you alleviate all the pressure, so short arm. But yeah, Pietro Maovaka has gone to 8th man. And the Fijians call another scrum, so we're gonna have some time here to reset. So no backline substitutions as of yet, only forwards for the French. For the Fijians, still the same 3 as earlier. While we reset this scrum, guys, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, become a member, go do that right now. While the scrum gets reset, you can literally do pretty much all of that before we get going again. Please also know that we are brought to you by Bitdefender. While we have a break, let me remind you that this coverage is sponsored by our global leader in cybersecurity, Bitdefender. Right? Bitdefender Total Security brings major changes to the way online threats are detected and repelled. And play resumes, so it was a solid scrum by the Fijians, out the back from Lamani to number 11, who makes a stellar run up the field. He is still going. Excellent leg drive by the Fijian wing. What strength was shown there. The Fijians are now on the attack. Number 4 taking it up further. So that was Habosi taking it up. Number 4 then Ahiwara Sirikareveti taking it up and then losing the ball. A penalty to the French. Okay, so very much indicative of the Fijians' night. Showing promise, stringing together phases, finding exciting breakthroughs, through the French defense, and then just not able to convert that to points or sustained pressure. Ideally, you come away with points. Second best is sustained pressure. So you're constantly putting it on the defensive side or the other side and saying, hey, we're going to keep coming and coming and coming, and we're going to make you defend and tackle and tackle and tackle. And to be fair, the French haven't had to do much of that. And if they have, it's for a very few phases before they either steal the ball, get a penalty, knock on, whatever the case is. Oh, unfortunate. Habosi had a fantastic run. Vinaya Habosi. Really run of the game so far for me. Not necessarily anything fancy, just sheer power as he drove himself, willed himself up the field. Excellent. Okay, but we are now here with a French lineout in Fijian territory. Another good attacking platform for the French. We go to the front. It goes at the top to Luku, who shifts it out to Moafwana. It goes down, cleared. Luku collects. Quick ball to the French forwards. Round the corner, here they come. And tackled effectively. Luku again, forwards, here they come, round the corner, again into that Fijian traffic, but making positive tackles. But the French have knocked it on, and it will be a Fijian scrum. So there we see the Fijian defense holding strong, forcing the French to play, who looked good. They were getting quick ball, potentially just a bit too quick, and it was lost forward there. So about 15 minutes in, 24 points to 7. Game has closed up quite a bit, but we are seeing some strong runs. While the ref is letting the boys know how they should scrum, we've got Kaywood Publishing in the comments, just listening to the games today, and these are warm-ups, but France and Ireland aren't looking scary. Thank you for that comment, Kaywood Publishing. Yeah, I mean, I think, we have to admit that this French side isn't quite a full-strength French side. They've had their moments, but definitely not too scary, these guys. Ireland, I thought, were looking quite clinical. They did what they needed to do. But, yeah, no doubt you don't want to be peaking. And there we go. So we go for the reset scrum. And the Fijians win a penalty. So they will breathe a big sigh of relief. They were not in a great spot there. But, yeah, the ref deeming that the French collapsing that scrum and resetting. But KO Publishing, thank you so much for joining us and listening into the games. Hopefully I'm painting a good enough picture for you that you can see it in your mind's eye. But the comment I was going to ask for was, what are score predictions, guys? Come on, 24 points to 7. We've got still, 20-odd minutes to go. What do we think? Can Fiji pull off a great upset here? That would do something for the world rankings, wouldn't it? Okay, Fijian lineout just inside of French territory. Where are we going? We're going to the center, dealt with off the top. Lamani, oh my goodness, Makulu goes, he intercepts. Can he make it all the way? Great speed from the substitute and straight under the posts. Oh my goodness, Lamani, that is his one mistake today. I mean, excellently read by Makulu. We're going to check the grounding here. Nope, that's a solid grounding for a try. Makulu intercepts. So it was a good quick line out. Makulu read it perfectly, and he was away to the races. And I feel so bad for Lamani. He's had an excellent game. As I was saying earlier, not made one mistake. Looks to make the long pass. That is the danger when you take that line-out ball, either at the front or the center. Your 9 is then forced to make such a long pass, and it can potentially be intercepted. So the French substitution, Makulu, Sekou Makulu, making his presence known by allowing the French to have a bit more breathing room. So just as the Fijians looked like they were doing well, so well to get out of that dangerous position, an error and a good piece of athletic ability and vision for the game puts France back in the lead. Well, keeps them in the lead, but by a bigger margin. So 20 points, 29 points to 17 with the kick to come. Jaminet should be no issue for him with this one. 15 seconds left in the shot clock. He has a peek over and puts it through the middle. Okay, so now we start to see him looking at the shot clock, winding down. 31 points to 17. Okay, so not the easiest mountain to climb. Oh, read it like a book. What pace from the big man. Excellent. Scores in style. The home crowd must be loving it. The Fijians restart. And here we go. The French collects. Down they go. Interesting. He was tackled outside the 22, but the ball was inside. Let's see what the ref rules. Look who's looking. Are we in or out? So the ref is indicating that we are in the 22. So Luku will look probably to kick it into touch and settle things down. Which he does. And into the crowd, so no quick ball for the Fijians. Very smart by Luku, right? You know, these Fijians have the guys ready to collect. They want to get the ball back into play early. They want to get that broken play going. So very, very good situational and game awareness by the French number 9, Luku, to kick it out into the crowd so there's no opportunity for the Fijians to take it quickly. All right, Fijian lineouts, here we go. Where are we going? We're going to the back again, and we're giving it to 7, who then, again, is looking for his number 2, taking some time to come around the corner, which he does eventually. So you can see what they're wanting to do, but taking a bit longer to get there. Lamani sends it all the way out to Muntz, coming onto the left-hand side. Strong run up by Mata, the number 8. Oh, ref says, yeah, play on. Okay, so it's given. Nice little out the back there. Lamani shifts it to Radradra, floats it over the top to the wing. Off we go. Here goes Basi, I believe. Strong carry and an offload. Can they keep it in the field? No, they can't. Ball comes loose, and we go out for a line out. Taken quickly, and it's brought back. Just confusion all around. So it looked like a strong run there from Hobasi, who then offloaded to Botia. This was nice from the Fijians. Great pass by Radradra to get it over the top. Good offload inside. You just would have liked to see them do better to stay in the field of play. That is fine. It's the offload and the drive then subsequently from, I believe, the Fijian number 7 who takes it out of play. Okay, and the French 9 is substituted off. Lukuku comes off, as well as, I believe, Antoine Hostoy. Looks like he's making his way off the field. Not much, I think, from Hostoy. We've seen he hasn't had to do much in terms of dictating play. It's kind of just all unfolded. But I think Lukuku's been really excellent. Fijians doing their best to disrupt, but the French come away with it, screaming down the left-hand side. In, out, not sure where to go. Eventually goes down. This is our new substitute, substitute 9, who's just come onto the field. I believe Baptiste Serin. Here come the French. Taking it out to the right-hand side. Chip over the top. Makalu is there, but the Fijians collect and Radradra calls the mark. Takes it quickly. What can they do? Here come the Fijians to the left. Oh, you think maybe one more pass, down it goes. Picked up quickly off the deck, but it is not to be. It is a Fijian knock-on. And giving the ball back to the French, unfortunately. So in that line-out, very well disrupted. But then, number 22, Baptiste Serin making a break down the left-hand side. Again, it's just a recap. In, out, he wasn't sure where to go. His support run is also kind of confused, trying to read off his moments, or movements rather. But again, unfortunate. Great collection of the ball by Radradra there. Calling the mark. Choosing to play it quickly, which I don't think was the wrong decision. But yeah, then unfortunately the Fijians just couldn't keep the ball, keep that pressure. And they've now given it back to France in the Fijian half. Handling errors, Fiji have had 10, France have had 5. Yeah, it's definitely been evident. So we have a French scrum on the right-hand side of the field where the 10-meter intersects with the 15. Again, a pretty decent attacking platform for the French. They will want to get deep into the Fijian 22, if not come away with points. Okay, so the Fijians not doing themselves many favors, but can they hold strong? Scrum is steady. Good push by the Fijians. Comes out to the right-hand side. Nice tackle there by Lamani. Excellent defensive work. Good counter-ruck by the Fijians. They are able to turn that ball over. Obasi takes it strongly up. Lamani has to dig. Slow ball for the Fijians. Out to the forwards. Good strong run. Mani there again, having a look. Slow ball for the Fijians, though. Mani looks to box. They've got chasers up, lining on the left-hand side here. Undoubtedly, they'll want to compete for this. It's a bit too deep, but good tackle. Frenchman does well to get it out and away from danger. Here come the French on the counter-attack, though. No defense, or very broken defense from the Fijians. Excellent tackle by Caleb Muntz there. French on the left, chipped through. The Fijians should collect this. They do. Mata collects it. Big number 8 does well. Secure the ball. Can they secure it? Yes, they do. So deep in Fijian territory on the right-hand side. Mani will build the train and look to clear. He will hope to find touch. And he does. Giving everyone a bit of breathing room. But the French say, not today, and take it quickly. So our French number 2, try scorer, excellent work, who's now playing number 8, Malvaka, taking that ball quickly, and my goodness, the Fijian player getting in the way there, but no advantage given. Here come the French, still ball in hand, still keeping it alive down the right-hand side, center of the field now. Serin distributing to the left-hand side. There is space, chipping it over, a little dab, excellently collected there, and looks like it's going to not, well, it's cleared it up the right-hand side. It does find touch. And Jamine looks to be breathing quite heavily and says, you know what, I'm going to just settle things down a bit. Mauvaka has played excellently. The number 2 for the French side has been all over the place. He's scored a try. He's been part of innovative moves, exciting rugby. He's now playing number 8. Started number 2. He's now playing at number 8. Maybe he should start at number 8. No, he can't. Aldrich was also excellent as well. Okay, so pretty much all substitutes are on. And speaking of substitutes, here come the remaining Fijian substitutes. So both sides deploying their benches, hoping that some fresh legs will get them the points they need. Having a look at the chat, guys. KW Publishing, thank you for your score prediction. 41-22 to France. Okay, so we think potentially another Fijian try in there, and we think some more French tries as well. Thank you, KW Publishing. I probably agree with you there. I would hope to see another Fijian try. They have shown moments where they can be so dangerous. They've just not been able to string many phases together. I think the French, yeah, I think another try probably inevitable. The Fijian fitness not looking like where it should be, so potentially they will take advantage of that. Right. French lineouts, we go to the back, not straight, but ref says play on the halfway, out to the backs, nice move down the center of the field to the right-hand side. We're on the 50, in the middle, the ball goes down. Serin knocks it over the top, but caught perfectly by the Fijian 23, who is Droa Sese, comes on and immediately catches and runs up the field. Out we go then to the backs. A strong run up field by the Fijian number 5. Up we come back to the left-hand side. Lamani still on the pitch, still doing all the good work. He loses some space over the top, dinks it over, but easily dealt with. And again, hoofed back field. But I think definitely a win for the Fijians in terms of territory. So that was kicked by France's number 22, who is Baptiste Serin, I believe. I think the Fijians will take this attacking opportunity. So where do we sit? We sit at about the 35-meter mark in the French territory. The Fijians will look to go to the back of the line. They do excellently. Omani, no, yes. Ref, what are we saying? So as they came down, the ball spilled out, judging it to have gone sideways or backwards. So the ref is saying play on. So the Fijians keep possession, but that is something they need to work on. That's twice they've spilled the ball at the back of the line out. Omani gives it to the Fijian number 18. Strong run up from him. Now to the center of the field. Up we go. Not quite over the advantage line. But here come the Fijians. Strong runs, but good defense by the French. Mani's there. And a France penalty. High. No, can't be high. Obstruction? Potentially. Ref not being incredibly clear with his signals, but very unfortunate again from the Fijians. Looking good, that sustained pressure. and then unfortunately just making a bit of a silly mistake. Next weekend, Fiji take on England next Saturday at 2:55 British Standard Time or 3:55 Central African Time. Scotland, Georgia next weekend will be very interesting. This last dance the Scots get. Italy, Japan. We always know the Japanese can be incredibly dangerous. What will they bring to the table? And Ireland and Samoa. French line out to the centre. French go to Maul. It is an advantage, so possibly an early sack or an illegal sack there. So the French have license to play. What will they do? Out they go to the forwards. Strong run by the French number 19. Back it comes to the right-hand side. Here we go. We've got space. Makalu down the wing. What can he do? Can he score another try? Oh, dancing and just puts a foot in touch. Otherwise, it was so close to Makalu either scoring another try or assisting. Excellent work by the big man. Looking to kick, then going himself, and just the slightest of toes. Excellent work by the touch judge there, the assistant referee, to call that out. Makalu really being a pester for the Fijian side. But France have a penalty in the Fijian half on the 15-meter. I don't think they'll go for posts here. I reckon they will go for the touch line and see if they can get another try. Potentially get their score to what Kwood Publishing was saying in the chat, 41 no. And as I say that, Jamine says, no thank you, I'd like to have another go at the posts. Could potentially be something that I heard in the Springbok game with Mani Lebok. Lord knows he needs the kicking practice, and that's fine. Get it, Lamani. Get that kicking practice. That's all right. But interesting why the French have gone for so many penalties. I mean, you're 31 points to 17. Surely you go to the corner. My theory here is potentially they don't want to run into the big Fijians. Another one could be just getting the kickers used to sort of pressure kicks all over the park, in front of big crowds. Just get them as much kicking practice as they can. So Jamine looks intently at the post. He's got 14 seconds on the shot clock. Sends it down the center, no doubt, makes it 34 points to 17. Guys, in case you didn't know, we are sponsored and brought to you by Boyle Sports. Do you think you know what the result is going to be? Kwood Publishing. Then why don't you head over to Boyle Sports and create an account and place your bet? Not only can you win big on your prediction, but Boyle Sports will match your first deposit up to R1,000. So check out the description and join today. So brought to you by Boyle Sports, our official betting partner for Forever Sports. Right, back to the action. The Fijians have restarted deep into the French territory, dealt with nicely by the French player. I missed his number who's caught it there. But a big train is built for the French replacement scrum half. He gives it out to the back. The French will say, hey, we might have a run from here. No, they don't. Shift it out when they've got some more time. Hoofs it downfield. Massive clearance kick. A bit less pressure then. Excellent, excellent kick from the French player, I believe. Could it be Joly there? No. Just trying to see his number there. But a good kick. So the Fijians have a lineup just inside the French half. They will undoubtedly look to hopefully make some good ground here. And we are getting a substitution, number 14 for Fiji. So not all the substitutions are quite done just yet. Wanikolo comes off. I think a big effort from him. Back to the Fijian lineouts. Here we go, to the back. They come down. Good. They look to bring it round. 16 finally makes his way, pops it off to our number 11, Habosi. Strong run, but taken down quite easily. Radradra seems to get the ball chopped. Not Radradra, excuse me, number 7. Watia gets it chopped at the legs. Number 22 is on. So Kurovoli is on for Lomani, who I thought was excellent, but a well-deserved rest for him. So we now have Kurovoli as our 9. Strong run up the center of the field, but good defense. Kurovoli distributes. Out we go. Muns shifts it on. Again, Dante making an absolute nuisance himself. Radradra, good take in, but good tackle. Kurovoli brings it back to the right-hand side. This is better by the Fijians. Can they keep the discipline? Can they keep that ball? Keep building. We're at phase 8 now. Nice play from the Fijians. Nice out the back passes. Good. Now make sure there are men there to support, which there are. Kurovoli looks, brings it back to the left-hand side. Excuse me, Lamani is still in the field, but no longer playing at 9, so might have shifted to one of the wings. Nice little step on the inside from Muntz, but then met hard by the French number 2. Good, strong tackle. And that's, French player is lazily running back. So Kuravoli, presence of mind to throw it into him, get the penalty advantage. The Fijians have license to play. Out to the wing, not much space there. The French defense looking strong, good, strong run. Ball is secured. Kuravoli is there. Just bring it back to the left-hand side then. Fijian forwards take it up the field. Fiji still having advantage. French player is down. Play carries on. Not a great pass. French defense is up quickly, but the ref has called it due to the injury. So we are stopping. French number 18 looks to be in some pain. That is Thomas Lakalan. Definitely said that wrong. Apologies, Thomas. Okay, he's on all fours. Not sure where the injuries come from. He's now sitting. We hope he's okay. Again, as I said, any injuries happening this close to the World Cup, all the coaching staff are really nervous, as well as the fans. You don't want to see it. You want these guys to go to the World Cup. You want to see the best competing. So it looks like potentially just a bit of a boot to the head as he was going down the tackle. Nothing in it there too much, but a lot of force happening at once. Okay, so what do we got? We've got 7 minutes left. I think it would be a massive ask of the Fijians to come back. But I think for themselves, they would be really stoked to score again. Right, Butia makes his way off the field. Big effort by the Fijian number 7. Nice interaction there between Fiji's number 7 and France's number 3. Okay, so Fiji, we go back for the Fijian penalty. France are offside. Caleb Muntz sends us deep into the Fijian half. This is the time, right? If you want, if you want to score, if you want to keep putting on some pressure, this is where Fiji needs to turn pressure into points. Good attacking platform. What can they do? They go to the back. It's caught well. It's taken down. Excellent. Popped off the top. Nice running around from Fiji's number 20, Tuisi. Out the back. Here we come. This is better from Fiji. Number 16, Matavesi with the ball goes down. Slow ball now. Pick and go around the corner. Can the Fijians keep their discipline? We look like the big boys are going to pick and go a bit. Draw in that French defense. Mata takes it up, another pick and go, supported, cleared well. Fijian discipline seems to be good. Can the French stay onside and not give it on? There is an advantage. There we go. As I said, can the French stay onside? A French player went offside. So the Fijians will be grateful for that because, my word, it was a knock-on. So literally in this matter of seconds. Okay, you've got a penalty right in front. What are we going to do? So Mata, number 18, Lutagi looks to tap and go. He doesn't. Cheeky little play there, baiting the French players offside. It's taken quickly by Kuravolo, then given to the forwards, who are now meters from the French try line. Again, the forwards look to pick and go. That try line is defended tightly by the French. It's going to be a big ask to get over. Something special is going to have to be needed here from the Fijians. They're going to need to keep their discipline. So are the French. Feel like another penalty here has to be maybe an official warning. So close to the line. Fijians picking and going, making their way inward towards the post, but the French defense holding strong. Kuravelo goes out to the backs. Radradra met, well tackled by the French. And an intercept! And he manages to hang on. The French number 14 read it perfectly, intercepted the ball, and it went down. The Fijians, though, picked up a bit of scrappy play. Again, the Fijians will fancy themselves in this. Okay, so we're about 15 to 18 meters out now. The Fijians have another tough task, but this is much better in terms of phase play, keeping ball in hand, multiple phases, putting pressure on that French defense who haven't had to, many had to do this often tonight. They've had to stand up, make the tackles, which they have, but the repeated, sort of staying on side, tackling, staying on side, tackling, getting on tackling, they haven't had to do. So this is much better from the Fijians. What can we see? Will they find a chink in that French armor? Yeah, okay. France number 2, recognizing the mistake, going off his feet there, but leaving the ball. And unfortunately, Romani, the man who's been excellent all night, struggles to hang on to it and knocks it on. So that pressure is dealt with well by the French side. And the Lamani, the Fijian number 9, who's now, I think, playing on the wing or fullback, unfortunately spills the ball forward, relieving all that pressure. The French will be quite happy with their performance there. So unfortunate that the Fijians haven't come away with points. We're 76.5 minutes in. Not much longer to go. Another French player down, potentially with a knock on the knee. Doesn't look too serious, as the French will huddle up for some breathing exercises. Yeah, just the pass from Kuruveli, I believe. Let me double check here. Kuruvoli there, just in front of Lamani, him reaching for it, knocking the ball on, and resulting in that turnover of possession. Really, really, really unfortunate, but some good passages of play there from the Fijians. Right, so as we have a break in play here, it might be a good time to chat to you about another cool feature of Bitdefender's offering. Regain control over your own devices with Bitdefender's microphone monitor. Use it and you can see what apps have access to your device's microphone and when. If you want to learn more about Bitdefender's microphone monitor, then please click on the link in the description in the chat. This is something I've always wondered about. I don't know if it's ever happened to you guys, but you might be talking about something, a product, service, whatever, with your mates, and then a couple of days later, sure enough, you get an advert for that exact product or service, and you think, well, how the heck do they know that? So with Bitdefender's microphone monitor, you can see which apps are indeed listening in and potentially, advertising to your wants and needs without your permission. So Bitdefender, definitely something worth getting to protect your privacy. Okay, here we go. A French scrum deep in French territory. 2.5 minutes to go. 34 points to 17 to the French. What can happen? Can the Fijians do something special? Solid scrum by the French. Out it comes. Deep kick. And it looks like my Wi-Fi has decided now to stop the stream, guys. So bear with me as I try and get this back up and running. It's done so well. Again, apologies. Deep in the delta here, so please bear with me while we get the signal up and going. Bring you guys the full coverage. Otherwise, I think it has been a good performance from the French. I think they will want to tidy things up. Again, we know this isn't a full strength French side, but nonetheless, they will want to make sure that they are as ready as possible come the World Cup. We've got 1 weekend left of warm-up games before the World Cup starts. Thank you for joining us here on Forever Sports. Make sure that you tune in on Forever Rugby. We are going to be taking you to the World Cup. Right? We'll be showing you behind the scenes, press conferences, matches, everything. It is going to be fantastic coverage of the World Cup. You won't get anywhere else other than on here on Forever Sports. Guys, also make sure you check out the channel on how you can watch the game. We've got detailed videos, right? So for this game, there was a detailed instructional video that Steve put out about VPNs and which services and what you can do either with ExpressVPN or one of the channel sponsors today, Bitdefender. So please have a look at there. Definitely we want you guys catching as much of the games as possible and as many of the games as possible. So just waiting again for my Wi-Fi to get its act together here, so we can get back to the action. Once again, guys, appreciate your patience as we do this. I'm just going to reload and see what I can do. I'm going to close everything else. So goodbye to the chat for now. We've got 2 minutes to go. It's done so well. Just want to catch the end of this thrilling encounter. Scores still stand at 34 points to 17. So here we go. I'm going to try and jump back to live. I might be a few minutes behind now. Don't want to give you outdated footage. But the stream is up again. And I've come back just in time. So points still stand at 34 to 17. But the clock is in the red. Looks like we have a scrum on the right-hand side of the field, possibly in French territory. Ref having final words with both front rows. Looks like this will be the last play of the game. You really want, well, I say you really want, I would really like Fiji to score, but it does look like a French input into the scrum. So potentially there, some exciting play from the Fijians, taking play all the way to the right-hand side. And then again, just unfortunately, ill discipline, resulting in a turnover, which has very much been the story of the Fijian game. So we go for the scrum feed. And our French number 2, who's playing at number 8, Mauvaka, picks, kicks, and that is the game. So there we go, full time. France 34, Fiji 17. I think probably a fair reflection of the game. I think the French being consistently the better side. I think their game management was much better. I do think the Fijians showed really exciting moments of what they could do. I was really impressed with some of their phase play, but unfortunately just not enough to pip the French and bring that upset that some of you were looking for in the chat. So 34 points to 17. Kwood Publishing, you are the closest to the score prediction. Excellent work there. That's a really, really good work from you. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Forever Rugby, on Forever Sports, where we covered this game between France and Fiji. It was excellent to be with you. Once again, thank you for your engagement in the chat. Thank you for smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe button. If you are able to become a member to Forever Sports, my name is Wes Hartman. Once again, thank you so much, and we will see you